Chapter 1445. The Dragon King's Treasury. Almost every Dragon King would have their own treasure trove, which was specially used to collect treasures. Most of the dragon tribe had such a hobby. They would find a place to store their treasures. Usually it would form a treasury. Li Zongjie was not interested in these small treasures. However, there must be something powerful in the Dragon King's treasury. The dragon tribe had a history of tens of thousands of years. The Heavenly Demon Tribe and the Heavenly Sparrow Tribe, which used to be one of the top 3 demon tribes, had fallen to their current state. On the other hand, the dragon tribe had risen steadily. Now they had even reached a point where they wanted to devour the entire continent. With such courage and confidence, he naturally had absolute strength. Deal. Longji only hesitated for half a second before she agreed. For Longji, there must be something powerful in the Dragon King's treasury. However, in the eyes of the entire dragon tribe, these precious items were just SOSO. Even if there was something extremely precious that couldn't be spread to the human tribe, Longji still agreed to it right away. After all, she needed a fierce fighter like Li Zongjie. Chaotic body, where could she find such a helper? Longji knew the value of Li Zongjie. She knew that there must be a powerful force in Li Zongjie. She did not expect Li Zongjie to reach such a level. It was terrifying. How did he master the power of chaos? Even Longji and the other members of the Draconic Penitentiary had not been able to find the existence of the power of chaos. Now that Li Zongjie had popped out and possessed the power of chaos, it was naturally shocking. Let's go, Li Zongjie said faintly. He held the 7-star moon slashing sword. He was ready to kill at any time. He wanted to kill all the devouring Yuan clan members. That was the most important thing. He couldn't wait any longer. All right, Longji nodded. In the next moment, she turned into a ray of white light. Although she was injured, Longji had many treasures in her hands. She ate a little and recovered to her peak state. His speed was also very fast. Li Zongjie followed closely behind. He rode on his sword. Otherwise it would feel weird flying in the air. At the same time, flying on a sword would save him some energy. Whoosh! Whoosh! The two of them flew above the Dragon Island. Li Zongjie looked at the scenery of Dragon Island under his feet. Although the last time he came to Dragon Island was 3,000 years later, Dragon Island at that time was almost the same as now. It was still in a state of exuberant vitality. There weren't many changes. However, when Li Zongjie and the others flew past a barrier, they found that they had arrived at a barren land full of red rocks. At the same time, they felt a scorching heat. The rocky mountains below had been directly burned red. If he fell, he would definitely be cooked. At the mouth of the volcano below, a terrifying flame rushed out with a boom. The flame exploded and splattered everywhere. However, Li Zongjie wasn't afraid. To Li Zongjie, such a commotion didn't pose a threat at all. It wasn't as if he hadn't seen the world. This was originally the resting place of the flaming giant dragons, the nest of the flaming dragon tribe. However, the flaming dragon tribe has rebelled. Longji came to Li Zongjie's side and said softly. Li Zongjie saw a few dragon corpses lying in the magma. Usually, these flaming giant dragons bathed in the magma. Hence, the magma couldn't burn their bodies. Even if they were killed, they still stayed here. There were traces of battle everywhere. It seemed that Dragon Island wasn't peaceful either. In fact, the battle of the dragon tribe didn't spread to the territory of the human tribe. To the top experts of the dragon tribe, after unifying Dragon Island, it wouldn't be difficult to conquer the human tribe's mainland. After all, there weren't many experts in the human tribe. In fact, the human tribe was declining faster than the dragon tribe. After so many years, there hadn't been a single absolute saint expert. Such a human tribe could only be described as struggling at death's door. I'm not interested in your affairs. Li Zongjie didn't intend to continue listening, because Li Zongjie wasn't here to solve the problem of the dragon tribe. He was here to reap the lives of these damned devouring Yuan clan. Up ahead is the first checkpoint, the Flaming Mountain. The dragon tribe was also divided into different ranks. Those who lived in the outermost layer were the dragon tribe that controlled the power of the elements. For example, the earth dragon and the fire giant dragon. The closest checkpoint was the flaming giant dragon's checkpoint, the Flaming Mountain. The evil dragon god was very talented in strategy. Not only did he want to defeat the dragon tribe, but he also wanted to eliminate all the dragon tribe that didn't agree with him. He wanted to change the dragon tribe's bloodline, a real reshuffle. Long Ji had already rushed past the 5th checkpoint and fled into the distance. She was almost out of Dragon Island. However, she was stopped before she could leave. If not for Li Zhongjio's help, it would have been very difficult for Long Ji to escape. In front of the flaming mountain, there were several huge figures entrenched on top of it. If one wanted to enter the core of Dragon Island, they had to pass through here. It was also the shortest path. Even if they went around to other places or checkpoints, there would still be people stopping them. Boom! Before the two of them even got close to the flaming mountain, a scorching aura swept over them. At the same time, a cloud of fire spread out from the top of the flaming mountain, crazily surging in all directions. Long Ji, since you've already left, why did you come back? Are you really not afraid of death? 5 gigantic flaming dragons emerged from the mountain of flames. The bodies of these dragons were clearly much larger than those of the dragon tribe. Previously, Li Zhongjio had encountered some young dragons. The dragon tribe's baby dragons, or those in their youth. They were not even more than 1,000 years old. 1,000 years old was a watershed for the dragon tribe. After cultivating for 1,000 years, they would have become a real old dragon. The 5 giant dragons in front of them were all 1,000-year-old dragons. These are the 5 great elders of the flaming giant dragon tribe. Long Ji said. At this moment, the 5 great elders of the dragon tribe realized that there was an unfamiliar figure beside Long Ji. Moreover, his aura was extremely weak. It was different from the wild and unrestrained aura of the dragon tribe. After seeing him, one of the elders exclaimed in surprise. Long Ji, you actually colluded with the human tribe? What can the declining human tribe give you? The Supreme Dragon Tribe actually asked for help from the lowly human tribe. Long Ji, you're degrading yourself. Although the core power of Dragon Island was changing, everyone was at least part of the Dragon Tribe. It was just that their standpoints were different. However, Long Ji's behavior was already degrading herself. If word got out, the entire Dragon Tribe would be humiliated. Chapter 1446. Long Ji frowned as she listened to him. Long Ji also frowned slightly. To Long Ji, the human race and the dragon race were in a state of equality. A long time ago, the dragon tribe retreated to the Dragon Island because of the rise of the human tribe. However, the dragon tribe was in a state of seclusion. Moreover, they did not have any new knowledge to learn. It was as though they were in seclusion. They accepted some extremely stubborn and pedantic ideas. They wanted to stand at the top of the world, but they did not recognize all of this. They would always be aggressive. Li Zhongjio did not intend to tangle with the dragon tribe. After all, they were just some boring insects. However, this guy was too arrogant. He kept calling them inferior. It doesn't matter what tribe you belong to. You slaughtered your own kind without any scruples. Is this the so-called nobility you speak of? Long Ji said coldly, although they saw many corpses of the fire dragon tribe on their way here. The truth was that they were unwilling to join the evil dragon god's camp. Hence, they were killed by these huge dragons. To Long Ji, facing these people made her very angry. However, these 5 old dragons were not weak. If Long Ji was in her usual state, it would not be a problem for her to fight against 5 of them. However, since the other party was guarding this place, there must be experts from the Devouring Yuan clan. Under the Devouring Yuan seal, it would not be easy to break through the defense of the 5 elders. Roar! If it weren't for you people from the Draconic Penitentiary being so stubborn, how could such a bloody case have occurred? You all are the main culprits. Enough of your nonsense. Since Jin Shan and the others are unable to take care of you, let us do it ourselves. Then, 3 of the 5 huge fire dragons rushed towards Long Ji. Boom! The 3 huge fire dragons immediately spewed out towering flames, covering Li Zhongjio and Long Ji. Long Ji raised her hand, and a light screen appeared, blocking the flames outside the Yuan Qi light screen. Then, her eyes suddenly became sharp. With a flick of his wrist, he summoned a bright ring. In the dragon tribe, everyone had their own treasures. It was normal for them to have some special treasures. Heavenly Dragon Tooth. The weapon in his hand was the legendary Heavenly Dragon Tooth. However, it was made into a bracelet. As for the so-called Heavenly Dragon Tooth in his hand, its origin was also not simple. It was said that it came from a monster clan that was even higher than the giant dragon clan. It was also a dragon clan, but they were called Heavenly Dragons. These Heavenly Dragons possessed the ability to easily destroy the entire dragon island with just one breath. However, this legend was only a legend of the dragon clan. Naturally, the human race wouldn't know. In the legends, the Heavenly Dragon clan was incomparably powerful and was above the heavens and earth. It was equally mysterious, but no one had ever seen it. However, there were various things left behind by the Heavenly Dragon, such as this Heavenly Dragon Tooth. In its original form, it was 5 feet long. After some polishing, it became such a small piece in his hand. Moreover, it was said that this Sky Dragon's tooth was only a tooth left behind when the Sky Dragon changed its teeth when it was young. That was why it fell on Dragon Island. It was hard to say exactly where they came from. However, when Long Ji took out the Heavenly Dragon Tooth, the 3 fire elementals were enraged. The 3 great fire dragon elders were clearly wary. They continued to attack with their flames, forming a wave of flames that trapped Long Ji and the other great fire dragon elders. Li Zhongjie did not take any action because Li Zhongjie's target was the Devouring Yuan clan. As long as the Devouring Yuan clan did not appear, Li Zhongjie did not need to take any action. After observing the situation, Li Zhongjie stepped on the 7 stars moon slashing sword and crossed his arms in front of him. The Devouring Yuan clan's aura was extremely weak, and their ability to disguise themselves was also very strong. If they were to hide, it would not be easy to find them. Previously, Li Zhongjie happened to be blindsided because of Long Ji's battle. Now Li Zhongjie knew that the Devouring Yuan clan must be on the Flaming Mountain. Since they were already there, he would wait for them to appear. Long Ji was not worried about Li Zhongjie's situation at all. Long Ji was able to control the entanglement of the 3,000-year-old giant dragons very well. The Heavenly Dragon Tooth was impervious to fire and water. It easily broke through the endless flames of the other party. Moreover, it directly cut open a large bloody wound on the body of one of the giant dragons. Blood immediately splattered out. Old 5. The first to be injured was Old 5. Seeing this, the other 2 quickly tried to grab Long Ji. However, Long Ji's Yuan power trembled. She easily avoided the 2 giant dragons' encirclement. Swoosh! Sea of Fire Hell Calamity. The 2 giant flame dragons' bodies suddenly intertwined. Then they formed a giant flame net. This flame net intertwined from top to bottom, forming a terrifying flame of the heavens and earth. Li Zhongjie saw the hidden killing intent in this move. In fact, it was considered a big move. Once one stepped on the flame, it was equivalent to falling into the giant flame net. Then, one's entire body would be entangled in the giant flame net. Moreover, it would attack from all directions at the same time, leaving one with no place to borrow strength. Boom! Long Ji, on the other hand, stepped into the air within the flaming chains. She swam above the waves of fire like a dragonfly, constantly gliding across the surface of the water, but never falling into the water. It's the Heavenly Dragon step. Now Devouring Flow, do it! The injured Old 5 saw Long Ji's step. This move was the best counter to the Fire Dragon tribe's Sea of Fire Hell. As expected, Long Ji used it. At the same time, a deep abyss crawled out from Old 5's ear. Human figures appeared on the other 2 dragons as well. At the same time, they formed hand seals. Devouring Energy Barrier. Suddenly, the Devouring Energy Barrier appeared. It enveloped Li Zhongjie and Long Ji. Long Ji knew that her opponent would use this move at the most critical moment. She immediately threw out the Heavenly Dragon Tooth in her hand. The Heavenly Dragon Tooth turned into a light screen and protected Long Ji. However, the Heavenly Dragon Tooth could not hold on for long. It could be sealed in the fiery hell at any time. Now, she could only hope that Li Zhongjie would help. She is already a turtle in a jar. She can't escape. How can she fight against us when she has lost her origin energy? If it were someone with a stronger cultivation base, they could even control the range of the Devouring Energy Barrier more accurately. For example, Right now it enveloped the two people in the sea of fire, Long Ji and Li Zhongjie. Although Li Zhongjie was from the human tribe, they had no intention of letting Li Zhongjie go. They were prepared to kill Li Zhongjie as well. Perhaps Li Zhongjie's origin energy cultivation base was strong. Otherwise, Long Ji would not have invited him over in such a hurry, and even had the guts to come back. However, it was a pity that there was only one outcome in the devouring energy barrier. That was to become a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. However, in the Sea of Fire, the fifth elder of the Flaming Dragon clan, who was quietly waiting for the fruits of their labor, and Tun Lu, who was standing on his back, were full of confidence. After all, they were old monsters who had cultivated for thousands of years. Their grasp of the situation was definitely the essence of the battle. Hundreds of years ago, these dragons would often go to the Shengwu continent to accumulate some combat experience. But later on, they weren't allowed to do so, because there would often be some melodramatic love between a human and a dragon. Later on, the Dragon Island was directly prohibited from doing so. Otherwise, it would also contaminate their dragon bloodline. Various things could happen. At least in their eyes, the human tribe was a despicable race. Boom! A figure directly emerged from the flames. While everyone was still in a daze, the figure suddenly fell on the fifth elder of the Flaming Dragon clan. His eyes met with Tun Lu of the Devouring Energy clan. Chapter 1447. Tun Lu was shocked by Li Zhongjie's speed. After all, ordinary people would not be able to use Yuan power under his devouring energy enchantment. How did Li Zhongjie do it? Li Zhongjie must be an expert in refining his body. Seems like you are an expert in refining your body. Tun Lu was not surprised. After thinking it through, he understood. However, so what if you have such a high cultivation level? The Devouring Yuan clan was not without any fighting power. Open your sky eye. The Devouring Yuan clan could not get close to others. They had to keep a safe distance. Hence, Tun Lu immediately opened his sky eye. A strong beam of light shot out from his third eye and went straight for Li Zhongjie's glabella. Bang! It was impossible for anyone to escape from such a short distance. A beam of light shot out. However, Li Zhongjie merely tilted his head and dodged it easily. At the same time, he reached out and grabbed Tun Lu's neck. How did the Devouring Yuan clan survive with such a weak fighting power? Li Zhongjie could not help but mock him. At this moment, Tun Lu's life was in Li Zhongjie's hands. You underestimate the Devouring Yuan clan. Suddenly, Tun Lu's figure disappeared. It turned out to be a shadow. At the same time, Tun Lu's real body appeared 10 meters away. In an instant, he swallowed a dragon ball in his hand. At the same time, he used his Devouring Yuan power to refine the energy of the dragon ball. Boom! Tun Lu released his aura. At this moment, he seemed to have transformed into a giant dragon in human form. Tun Lu had swallowed the dragon ball of an 800-year-old fire dragon. He had used a secret technique to mobilize the power of the 800-year-old dragon tribe. Tun Lu had gained such terrifying power in a short period of time. Heavenly Fire Fist. Tun Lu threw a punch at Li Zhongjie. The punch contained the power of an 800-year-old dragon tribe. It was enough to kill any human. This was why the Devouring Yuan clan was so powerful. They could absorb the energy essence of others and use it for themselves for a short period of time. However, only the experts of the Devouring Origin clan were capable of doing so. The experts of the Devouring Yuan clan could be categorized into Heaven, Earth, Black, and Yellow. For example, the ones that Li Zhongjie had killed in the Shengwu continent at the very beginning were all unranked and were not ranked. The Tunchi he had killed in the Outer Island region had barely reached the yellow rank. Now he was facing the Devouring Flow. He had activated Heavenly Fire and had mastered the ability to plunder, which meant Tun Lu had reached level. The Xian great experts of the Devouring Yuan clan had already mastered the basics and were able to absorb energy from the energy stones. In the blink of an eye, he could turn himself into a supreme being expert. Tun Lu's lose, of course. Tun Lu Tun. Bang. Tun Lu's himself. Tun. Ha. Tun Lu was taken aback. Logically speaking, Li Zhongjie should not have been able to block Tun Lu's attack, since he did not have any yuan qi. He should have been beaten to death by Tun Lu. However, it was a pity that Li Zongjie was completely unharmed. He had even received Tun Lu's attack with ease. Tun Lu could clearly feel a huge force coming from Li Zongjie's body. The moment Tun Lu's fist and palm came into contact, Li Zongjie's strength was enough to crush Tun Lu to death. That's all. Li Zongjie's eyes were filled with disdain. Tun Lu immediately channeled all the energy in his body to form an earth-shattering force. He wanted to crush Li Zongjie. However, Li Zongjie did not move an inch. Even when the two of them collided, he did not budge at all. Even though the two of them were very strong, Li Zongjie still managed to crush Tun Lu's fist with ease. At the same time, there was a cracking sound. Tun Lu's 5 fingers were crushed by Li Zongjie's strength. You're courting death. The other 2 devouring Yuan clan experts on the giant dragons saw how badly Tun Lu had been beaten up. It was a slap to their faces. They immediately leaped up and refined the power of the Dragon Balls at the same time. One of them contained 900 years of cultivation power, while the other contained 700 years of cultivation power. With 900 years of cultivation power, they were already close to the absolute saint realm. The two of them attacked Li Zongjie at the same time. In their opinion, Li Zongjie must have some kind of treasure on him. Otherwise, how could he still maintain such a strong combat strength under the devouring Yuan enchantment? There must be something strange about it. They had to take down Li Zongjie first. Even if he had some kind of treasure, he could not hold on for too long. Boom! Boom! The two of them attacked at the same time. Waves of air rolled and formed a flaming tornado in front of Li Zongjie. The Fire Dragon tribe's 5th elder, who Li Zongjie had been stepping on, did not move. He was quietly waiting for Li Zongjie to be smashed into pieces. Boom! Li Zongjie took the opportunity to land a punch on Tun Lu's body. Instantly, Tun Lu's body exploded into countless pieces of minced meat, splattering everywhere. Only his head was left, falling on the dragon's back. After all, the two of them were suppressed by Li Zongjie. Their power fell on Li Zongjie. However, Li Zongjie was completely unharmed. A ray of golden light flowed around him. It's the dragon tribe's golden body. Did he cultivate the dragon tribe's cultivation method? Obviously, the 2 devouring Yuan clan members saw through the changes in Li Zongjie's body. They immediately knew that Li Zongjie must have cultivated the Golden Dragon tribe's cultivation method. Could there be a traitor in the Golden Dragon tribe? Or could it be that the Dragon tribe wanted to make use of this person and was already preparing to eliminate them? The people of Devouring Yuan clan were filled with thoughts. Soon, they thought of many things and became nervous. At the same time, they were considering whether they should continue fighting with Li Zongjie. Why hadn't the Dragon tribe made a move yet? It was not that the Dragon tribe did not want to make a move. It was because they felt that Li Zongjie was nothing they could not handle. However, reality proved that they really could not handle him. Trying to escape, Li Zongjie used the power of his golden body to execute the Dragon Claw technique and grabbed the 2 Devouring Origin clan's mysterious grade martialists. The 2 experts from the Devouring Origin clan were startled. They hurriedly tried to break free and escape, because if Li Zongjie could capture them, he could easily take their lives. However, Li Zongjie did not give them the chance to escape. He killed 2 people with a punch. Boom! Li Zongjie harvested 3 more heads. However, Li Zongjie took their storage rings and checked them casually. He found that the 3 of them had at least 30 Dragon Balls. No wonder the Devouring Yuan clan was so willing to cooperate with the evil dragon god. What kind of energy stone could be purer and more powerful than the Dragon Balls? Of course not. The Dragon Balls were good items for the Devouring Yuan clan to accumulate power. Speaking of which, these people were really quite careless. They could not believe that they could cooperate with the Devouring Yuan clan. It seemed like the evil dragon god was really evil. The 3 Devouring Yuan clan members died. Longji immediately felt it. The 3rd elder and the 4th elder were continuously using their yuan qi. The 2 giant dragons were shocked. Their huge dragon eyes saw a terrifying cold light surging out from the monstrous flames. Heavenly Dragon Tooth, the 4th elder exclaimed when he saw the thing that appeared. However, the Heavenly Dragon Tooth pierced his eyes in the next moment. Qi. The penetrating power was extremely strong. Chapter 1448. Long Ji waved her hand, and the sky dragon tooth flew back from another direction. It was stained with dragon blood, and some dragon tendons. Thousand Moon destroy. Long Ji suddenly threw the heavenly dragon's tooth into the sky. Immediately, the power burst out and rushed to the sky. Then the sky dragon tooth turned into thousands of pieces, and fell like raindrops. Boom! The sky dragon tooth pierced through the bodies of the three dragons. The first elder and second elder, who were guarding the mountain of flames, hurriedly raised their heads when they saw the situation. Then, they spat out terrifying flames and scattered them into the sky. The flames turned into a rain of fire. Then they fell. Immediately, there was a ferocious heat, as if they had turned into thousands of ferocious beasts when they fell. Sky Dragon destroy. Long Ji's palms flew, and the sky dragon tooth spun rapidly. With a boom, it rushed in front of her, and destroyed the flame spiritual beasts in front of her. Li Zongjie was hovering not far away, watching the battle between Long Ji and the two great elders. These two elders each had a cultivation of around 1,500 years. Their strength was not on the same level as the previous three great elders. Looks like it's not only Dragon Island but also other places. It was because when Li Zongjie arrived in his previous life, it was already 3,000 years later. However, he had never heard that there were so many experts in the Dragon Clan. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to kill the four supreme experts of the Dragon Clan so quickly. At that time, the supremes of the Dragon Tribe were very valuable. It seemed that with Li Zongjie's rebirth, these people's cultivation speed had also increased. It was really interesting. However, Li Zongjie did not care. Anyway, in this life, he had a firm belief to protect his family and his loved ones. These damn people from the devouring Yuan clan. How dare they hurt Qi Yanran? As a result, Qi Yanran was now in a state of healing. Li Zongjie naturally would not let it go. If Qi Yanran did not have the Green Bird platform at that time, the consequences would be unimaginable. Boom! Long Ji seemed to be handling the attacks of the two elders of the Dragon Tribe with ease. She relied on the heavenly dragon tooth in her hand to strike the other party's body from time to time. Even if the two great Dragon Clan elders' cultivations were profound, they could not withstand Long Ji's attack either. The sharpness of the heavenly dragon teeth was something that even the two dragons did not dare to underestimate. Suddenly, the Fire Dragon Tribe Grand Elder spat out something. It was actually a net of golden threads. The net of light quickly swept over, trapping Long Ji within. Even if Long Ji had the heavenly dragon tooth in her hand, it was still difficult for her to directly cut open the other party's golden light net in this short period of time. Incarnation. As the golden net continued to shrink, Long Ji clearly felt the pressure from the surroundings. She immediately clapped her hands together, and a ferocious ancient aura erupted from her body. Boom! Immediately, Long Ji's aura spread out. He transformed into a purple dragon. As Long Ji released her main body, her strength increased explosively again. As he struggled, he actually tore apart the golden net. And the two great Dragon Clan elders were completely stunned. The thing that they were most worried about finally happened. As expected of an expert who walked out of the Draconic Penitentiary, both of them sighed. What they were most worried about previously was that Long Ji was still hiding her strength. After all, she came from the Draconic Penitentiary. To be able to be sent to the Draconic Penitentiary to cultivate from a young age, the strength that she possessed was naturally not simple. Purple Dragon. Li Zongjie was also surprised when he saw Long Ji's main body, because in Li Zongjie's memory, he really had not seen this purple dragon before. As for what attribute it was exactly, he could not be sure. According to the classification of meta-beasts, Long Ji should be considered a mutated attribute. After transforming into her main body, Long Ji's strength also increased explosively instantly, almost reaching the cultivation level of 1,800 years. Once again, she easily suppressed the two great Dragon Clan elders. Immediately, the three dragons tangled in the sky. The sun and moon collapsed, and the mountains and rivers collapsed. Boom! Rumble! The two great elders of the Fire Dragon tribe were directly knocked to the ground. Long Ji's figure descended and stepped on the two great elders of the Fire Dragon tribe one by one. Roar! With a furious roar, the sound waves also rumbled, and the grass and trees were cut into pieces. Boom! Long Ji immediately prepared to completely trample the people in front of her to death. However, at this moment the towering flame mountain that was more than 10,000 feet tall. At this moment, countless cracks suddenly appeared on the mountain wall. After that, a surge of turbulent air exploded from the mountain wall. Boom! The flames were like a heavenly pillar that shot into the sky. A giant dragon, that was more than 10,000 feet tall appeared. A powerful and oppressive feeling instantly attacked. Li Zhongjio's clothes were also blown crazily by the other party's aura. The Fire Dragon Tribe Patriarch. Compared to the Thunder Dragon Tribe Patriarch, the Fire Dragon Tribe Patriarch in front of him seemed to be more powerful. Back then, the Thunder Dragon Tribe Patriarch that Li Zhongjio fought should only have a cultivation level of 2,000 years. And the Fire Dragon Tribe Patriarch in front of him was at least 2,300 years old. A look of surprise flashed across Li Zhongjio's eyes. If it was just the little dragons below who rebelled, it would be fine. After all, these little things stayed in such a place every day. Of course they would be bored. They had a body of abilities, but had nowhere to display them. It was fine if some of them were lazy, but there were still some very ambitious ones here. It was inevitable that they couldn't stay here. They wanted to go out and explore. They wanted to cause some trouble. But the Fire Dragon Tribe Patriarch in front of him already had a cultivation level of 2,300 years. He actually followed the little dragons below to cause trouble. It seemed that he was still very confident. This made him even more surprised. And Long Ji in front of him didn't seem to care about being surprised. The huge purple dragon head looked at the Fire Dragon Tribe Patriarch that rose up, and a little bit of light bloomed in its eyes. On the entire Dragon Island, the Fire Dragon Tribe Patriarch's strength could at least be ranked in the top 10. It was relatively strong, and the Fire Dragon Tribe was also one of the 5 elemental dragon tribes. There were at least 300 of them in the Fire Dragon Tribe. With such a strong force, why would they do such a boring thing to destroy the world and become the number one of the 10,000 tribes? So what? Of course, Li Zhongjio himself could think of these things clearly, but the others might not. Li Zhongjio's gaze landed on the Fire Dragon Tribe Patriarch. There was actually a figure standing on the back of the Fire Dragon Tribe Patriarch. The corner of Long Ji's mouth couldn't help but twitch. It was really difficult to deal with. The two heavily injured dragons also quickly came in front of the huge dragon that had just appeared. Greetings, Patriarch. As the two elders of the Fire Dragon Tribe, the two of them could be said to have used all their moves today. But the two of them still couldn't take down Long Ji even after joining forces. This was enough to prove Long Ji's strength. If it took a little longer, they might be killed by Long Ji. Chapter 1449. Long Ji, if you leave now I won't kill you. Fire Dragon Tribe leader looked at Long Ji. Long Ji was from the Dragon Tribe, and she had a special identity. Her current strength had a lot to do with her bloodline power. Hence, the rest of the Dragon Tribe had been merciful to her. However, the two elders of Fire Dragon Tribe were no match for Long Ji. Hand over that human brat, and you can leave, Fire Dragon Tribe leader said. His voice was loud and clear, like 100,000 bells ringing at the same time. When the sound waves came, it made people feel as if their blood was boiling. Long Ji could leave, but Li Zhongjio couldn't, because Li Zhongjio had killed the people from Devouring Yuan clan. The cooperation between Devouring Yuan clan and Evil Dragon God was very important. They couldn't give it up so easily. Hence, they had to keep Li Zhongjio alive as an explanation to Devouring Yuan clan. Grandpa Huoyan, are you really going to betray Dragon Ancestor? Long Ji had transformed into a human. If she wanted to fight with the Fire Dragon Tribe leader, she had no chance of winning. Moreover, the Fire Dragon Tribe leader had a group of top experts from Devouring Yuan clan. Facing such a peak combination, Long Ji had no chance at all. However, she wanted to persuade the Fire Dragon Tribe leader with reason and emotion. If she could save the Fire Dragon Tribe leader, she might have a chance to turn the situation around. However, the Fire Dragon tribe leader didn't budge. You can stay at the side. Long Yan didn't want to kill Long Ji. Instead, he waved his hand casually. Under Long Ji's feet, a fireball was formed and enveloped Long Ji completely. It formed a cage of flames that trapped Long Ji. Long Ji wanted to break out of the fire cage. However, the two elders of the dragon clan opened their mouths at the same time and spat out flames to maintain the power of the flame cage. At the same time, the flames were also stacking up. Human tribe shouldn't interfere in this matter. You don't deserve to be involved. After trapping Long Ji, Huoyan was ready to get rid of Li Zongjio. How dare a mere human interfere in the dragon tribe's matter? How could he spare the latter? In addition to the hatred between the devouring Yuan clan and Li Zongjio, they would not allow Li Zongjio to leave. You want to kill me, old thing? Li Zongjio shook his head. Disdain was written all over his face. Although I don't know what you are up to, I am here for the devouring Yuan clan. If the dragon tribe wants to stop me, don't blame me for being rude. Li Zongjio said. Li Zongjio did not intend to exterminate the dragon tribe yet. After all, it was the devouring Yuan clan that had offended him. The devouring Yuan clan was doomed. However, if the dragons want to stop Li Zongjio, then they can't blame Li Zongjio. Whoever stood in the way would be killed. Arrogance and conceit will always be the weakness of you humans, Huoyan said. At the same time, he was no longer courteous to Li Zongjio. He was already giving Li Zongjio face by speaking so much to a weak person like Li Zongjio. The huge dragon claw, which was covered in endless flames, fell towards Li Zongjio in an instant. The moment it fell, it was as if a huge meteorite was falling. Huoyan was so confident that he did not even need the devouring Yuan clan behind him to seal Li Zongjio's Yuan power. Instead, he used his own strength to deal damage to Li Zongjio. Long Ji, who was in the flaming cage, could clearly see the scene in front of her. Patriarch Long Yan's huge body was already shaking the heavens and earth when he moved his body. When he attacked again, it was as if the heavens and earth could not bear it. The space around Li Zongjio gradually collapsed. Li Zongjio, run away quickly. Patriarch Long Yan has 2,300 years of cultivation. He is not someone you can withstand. Long Ji immediately roared. She did not expect that there would be such an expert guarding this place. Originally, the experts in the Draconic Penitentiary would come to stop him. But now, there was no expert who could contend with the patriarch of the Fire Dragon tribe. As for Li Zongjio, although Li Zongjio was very strong, in Long Ji's opinion, Li Zongjio's uniqueness was that his physical strength was not controlled by the devouring Yuan clan. However, in terms of combat strength, even at his peak, he might not be much stronger than Long Ji. He would definitely die if he faced Patriarch Long Yan in front of her. However, Li Zongjio acted as if he did not hear her. He was still standing in the same place. Do not change to counter all changes? In my previous life, I was able to destroy the 4 patriarchs of the dragon tribe. This time I can do the same. You are not strong enough. Li Zongjio's words confused Huoyan. He did not even know what Li Zongjio was talking about. Could it be that the pressure was so great that Li Zongjio was driving him crazy? However, it did not matter. After all, it was a matter of the claw. Boom. The dragon island was vast and boundless. However, the entire land of the Fire Dragon tribe shook when Huoyan's attack landed. Logically speaking, Li Zongjio should have been smashed into powder. Everyone widened their eyes. The 2 elders of the dragon tribe were also curious about Li Zongjio. After all, this guy had killed a few experts from the devouring Yuan clan in a flash. How could he be defeated so easily? As expected of the patriarch, he was very strong. However, Long Yan frowned. He felt that it was too easy. It was a little strange. That's it. A voice came from the sky. No one knew when. Li Zongjio's figure appeared above Huoyan. The attack just now did not hit him at all. While Long Yan was still in shock, Li Zongjio also released the 7 stars moon-slashing sword. However, this was one of the 10 great ancient swords. When it got close to Long Yan, it was bitten by Long Yan before it could attack. It was as if he was eating sugar-coated haws. He bit the 7 stars moon-slashing sword easily. Bang! Let's see what other moves you have. Suddenly Long Yan's body surged crazily. Although his body was huge, his speed was extremely terrifying. In the blink of an eye, he had surrounded Li Zhongjiu. Waves of fire rolled and continuously attacked Li Zhongjiu's body. However, Li Zhongjiu's body was protected by a golden light. Since he was so arrogant, Li Zhongjiu did not mind ending the battle quickly. He stretched out his hand. He broke one of Huo Yan's dragon scales with one hand. Li Zhongjiu's body began to spin along with Huo Yan's body. There was a whistling sound. Huo Yan swung his tail, trying to send Li Zhongjiu flying. Break it! Li Zhongjiu tore hard and directly ripped off dozens of dragon scales on Huo Yan's body. Slash! Dragon blood splattered all over the sky. Because of this, Long Yan roared towards the sky in pain. Chapter 1450. A large piece of flesh was dug out by Li Zhongjiu. Such a severe injury must be unbearable. Roar! Li Zhongjiu reached out and grabbed a piece of dragon flesh from Huo Yan's body. Huo Yan shook his body crazily, trying to throw Li Zhongjiu away so that he could break free from Li Zhongjiu. Unfortunately, Li Zhongjiu's grip was tight, and he kept punching Huo Yan's wound with his penetrating fist, causing damage. Boom! Boom! Huo Yan's body fell from the sky. Huo Yan's body exploded with powerful yuan energy. After sacrificing a piece of dragon scale, he sent Li Zhongjiu flying. Bang! Li Zhongjiu's body was sent flying hundreds of meters away. However, this distance was nothing to Huo Yan. He quickly got up and slashed his claw at Li Zhongjiu. Unparalleled sword. Li Zhongjiu summoned the unparalleled sword. The moment Huo Yan's claw was about to land, he easily slashed it. Huo Yan's dragon claw fell to the ground. Bang! Dragon blood spurted out like a fountain. After the unparalleled sword in Li Zhongjiu's hand was stained with the blood of the Fire Dragon tribe's patriarch, its power seemed to have increased tremendously. Huo Wushuang also cultivated fire attribute origin energy. Now that the blood of the Fire Dragon tribe's clan leader had poured into his body, Huo Wushuang's aura surged. Silent destruction. Huo Yan shouted when he felt that his claw had been cut off by Li Zhongjiu. He knew that Li Zhongjiu's strength was not simple. Hence, he had to kill Li Zhongjiu, even if he had to borrow the strength of the Devouring Yuan clan. The Devouring Yuan clan's expert called Silent Destruction shook his body. He stood in the air and appeared in midair. Unlike the other experts from the Devouring Yuan clan, this Devouring Yuan clan's expert had cultivation. Ordinary members of the Devouring Yuan clan were naturally unable to cultivate because their bodies were filled with the talent of the Devouring Yuan clan. However, some of the stronger experts from the Devouring Yuan clan could use the sealing power and cultivate Yuan energy at the same time. With the combination of the two, the power was boundless. Earth-grade expert. Any Earth-grade expert in the Devouring Yuan clan who could cultivate could be considered a true Earth-grade expert. They had great power. Without hesitation, Nirvana appeared and cast the Devouring Energy enchantment, an Earth-level expert from the Devouring Energy clan. Boom! All of this accumulated on Li Zhongjiu. The elemental energy on the unparalleled sword was instantly forced back and disappeared because the power of the unparalleled sword was not strong enough. Unparalleled sword was able to unleash sword's power. However, of unparalleled swords of the Devouring Yuan clan of unparalleled of the sword, could sword woods. Let's see how arrogant you can be. Huo Yan laughed heartily. In his eyes, Li Zhongjiu was like a toothless tiger. He was no threat at all. So what if Li Zhongjiu was just relying on the powerful weapon in his hand? I'll definitely kill you. Li Zhongjiu had lost all of his Yuan energy in the Devouring Yuan clan of the Devouring Yuan clan of the Devouring Yuan clan. His other claw swiped at Li Zhongjiu. The power of flames lingered on the claw. Boom! However, Li Zhongjiu still managed to dodge the claw. His body was still fast. However, Li Zhongjiu did not fly too far away. A small black hammer appeared in his hand. When the hammer appeared, Yi Zichen was stunned. Long Yan immediately felt an incomparably clear pressure coming at him. What? While Long Yan was shocked, Li Zhongjiu had already swung the hammer down. Boom! Half of the dragon's arm. It was instantly destroyed. Huiyan roared in pain again. The entire dragon's arm was completely destroyed. He hadn't felt such pain for thousands of years. He did not expect that both of his arms would be destroyed as soon as he felt it. Flying demon tracking arrow. Nirvana drew a longbow in his hand. Then a black light rushed toward Li Zhongjie. It was extremely fast. The black light seemed to have pierced through the sky, and Li Zhongjie clearly felt that he had been locked onto by this arrow. However, Li Zhongjie did not dodge. Instead, he stared at the black light in front of him. As if it knew Li Zhongjie's thoughts, the black light soared left and right. It kept changing directions in the sky. Finally, it suddenly shot toward Li Zhongjie's back. However, Li Zhongjie quickly turned around. He reached out and caught the black light in his hand. The arrow stopped 2 fingers away from Li Zhongjie's heart. He actually caught it. When he saw Li Zhongjie's action, Nirvana's eyes were filled with shock. Li Zhongjie was able to do this without any elemental energy. This Li Zhongjie was indeed terrifying. Come down. Li Zhongjie smashed the black dragon hammer in his hand toward Huiyan's body. With a loud bang, the black dragon hammer hit Huiyan's throat, almost breaking his throat. Then Huiyan fell to the ground. Nirvana had always been on Huiyan's back, looking down from above. Now that Huiyan had fallen, Nirvana's figure naturally fell to the ground. However, Nirvana continued to hold the longbow in his hand. He kept shooting black light at Li Zhongjie. Li Zhongjie displayed his skill of catching arrows with his bare hands. No matter how many arrows were shot, he easily caught them. Then he crushed them all and threw them on the ground. Let's see how many more you have. Li Zhongjie picked up a rock from the ground. This rock was mixed with the power of fire. It was a volcanic rock. Whoosh! It flew towards Nirvana. Just the speed of the rock was faster than the speed of the arrow. However, to Nirvana, it was nothing. He immediately drew his bow and shot the rock into pieces. Boom! The volcanic rock suddenly exploded with a burst of energy, directly forming a fog in front of him. Nirvana's vision was blocked. Nirvana had a bad premonition in his heart. As expected, Li Zhongjie appeared in front of him in the next second. He threw out a punch. Bang! Nirvana's elemental energy cultivation had already reached the Supreme Being realm. Even among the human race, he was already a top expert. Who knew that Li Zhongjie's punch would clearly tell him that he was trash? Half of Nirvana's teeth were sent flying. Bang! Nirvana's body rolled out on the ground, drawing a distance of tens of meters on the ground. He was about to get up and shoot Li Zhongjie to death. However, Li Zhongjie suddenly descended from the sky and broke his arm with a stomp. Then he kicked away the longbow in his hand. He stomped on his face. Is that all you've got? Li Zhongjie looked at Nirvana with disdain. With your strength, you still have the nerve to call yourself Nirvana? From now on, you'll be called Sweet Potato. Then Li Zhongjie stomped Nirvana's head into the ground. Chapter 1451. A gust of wind came from behind Li Zhongjie. He lowered his body and dodged it. A gust of wind swept past Li Zhongjie's head. Long Yin seemed to have taken some medicine and regained his power. If Silence was killed by Li Zhongjie, then Li Zhongjie would be even more difficult to deal with. Therefore, he had to deal with Li Zhongjie before Li Zhongjie killed Silence. Although both of his palms were chopped off, Long Yin used his strong cultivation and the power of flames to condense the remaining parts. He barely recovered 80% of his strength. Therefore, he continued to attack Li Zhongjie. Long Yin continued to use the divine dragon tail whip. He smashed the surrounding rocks into pieces. Li Zhongjie also retreated and somersaulted a few times. Otherwise, Li Zhongjie would suffer if he was hit by Long Yan's power. After all, Li Zhongjie did not have the invincible Vajra body. After dodging more than 10 moves, Li Zhongjie finally found a flaw. He instantly stepped out and grabbed Long Yan's tail. Long Yan turned around to look. What did Li Zhongjie eat when he was growing up? How could he have such great strength? Immediately after, Fire Flame felt an irresistible force bearing down on him. Immediately, he was lifted into the air. After Li Zhongjie grabbed Long Yan's tail, he spun a few times in the air and was thrown out. Bang! After he landed, he caused a terrifying vibration. He even crashed into a volcano and collapsed it. Immediately, the lava in the volcano erupted. Li Zongjiu looked back and saw that Silence had summoned a flying effulgence weapon and was trying to escape. Li Zongjiu exerted force on his feet and arrived in front of Silence in an instant. Then he slapped Silence's back. The latter coughed up a mouthful of blood. He turned around and wanted to open his third eye to attack Li Zongjiu. However, Li Zongjiu did not hesitate at all. He extended his finger and poked at the man's third eye. The original defensive barrier was also directly blasted apart. Nirvana's body froze on the spot. Li Zongjiu had destroyed his eyes, which was equivalent to smashing his heart with a single punch. Although the third eye of the devouring Yuan clan was exposed, anyone who tried to attack the third eye of the devouring Yuan clan would definitely be attacked. He knew how to protect himself. However, Li Zongjiu's speed was too fast. Before his eyes could react, he had already pierced through it and exploded. While the latter was still conscious, Li Zongjiu dug out Nirvana's eyeballs. His body immediately felt relaxed. The suppression from the devouring Yuan domain also disappeared at this moment. Abundant elemental energy once again returned to Li Zongjiu's body. When he turned back to look at Huoyan had already climbed up with all his might. He quickly flapped his wings and flew into the distance. Boom! Longji also broke out of the flame cage left behind by Huoyan. The heavenly dragon tooth appeared in her hand again. Longji could not wait any longer. When the two elders of the dragon tribe saw this, they knew that this vicious and merciless girl would definitely not let them off. Moreover, Longji's strength was above theirs. She also fled in two different directions. Longji also rushed towards the great elder of the fire dragon tribe without hesitation. After all, the great elder's strength was stronger. Naturally, the threat that he brought was greater. Longji could not let the great elder leave. Since these people were already preparing to rebel, there was nothing more to say. They would become enemies sooner or later. Seeing Longji chasing after him, the grand elder fled frantically. Unfortunately, Longji once again transformed into her true form of a purple dragon. Her speed suddenly increased. Boom! The purple dragon's claws descended from the sky and caught the red dragon in front of him. The two dragons were fighting in the sky, but the purple dragon was more likely to inflict serious damage on the red dragon below. Rip! In the sky, the fire dragon tribe's patriarch was torn into two halves. With a shrill cry, the fire dragon tribe's first elder was torn into two halves. His fate was extremely miserable. Although Longji was a woman, her methods were indeed frightening. She didn't dare to be careless at all. As for Li Zongjiu, he directly caught up to Huoyan. "Where are you running to?" Li Zongjiu sneered. "You think you're strong?" Li Zongjiu then took out the unparalleled sword and cut off the fire dragon tribe leader's wing. Immediately, the wing fell from the sky and fell to the ground. The other wing was also cut off by Li Zongjiu. Huoyan could no longer resist Li Zongjiu's sharpness. The dignified chief of the fire dragon tribe with 2,300 years of unparalleled cultivation was actually easily killed by Li Zongjiu today. How pitiful was that? However, Li Zongjiu did not care about your name at all. No matter what your name was. If you blocked his path, he would naturally kill you. He finished off the fire dragon tribe leader with a single sword. Then he took out the latter's dragon ball. Huoyan's huge body fell to the ground with a loud bang. Blood flowed out continuously, covering the ground. Huoyan's blood was even hotter than magma. Any magma that came close to him was directly devoured by his blood. This dragon ball is good for you. Unfortunately, I don't know how to make Longji's dragon soul ball. Li Zongjiu said. Huo Wushuang appeared in front of him and took the dragon ball in Li Zongjiu's hand with both hands. The dragon ball was still hot. She directly took the dragon ball and began to absorb it very seriously, although Huoyan's dragon soul was not sealed in it. But for her, the power of the dragon ball was enough. The unparalleled sword would definitely be upgraded to a higher level. It was worthy of being a weapon made by the ancient demon clan. It actually had such powerful strength and toughness. Or it could be said that the original unparalleled sword had certain limitations. But now, with Huo Wushuang's addition, the unparalleled sword had become even more powerful. There would be more improvements in the future. Huo Wushuang held the dragon ball and returned to the unparalleled sword. Then she began to cultivate. Li Zongjie looked back. The corner of his mouth hooked up into a cold smile. The Fire Dragon tribe's second clan leader had already fled thousands of miles away. He also restrained his aura and turned into his human form. He did not dare to fly in the sky with his dragon body. Who knew if the two people would directly chase after him? It was hard to say what would happen. It was better to be careful first. But just as he was about to leave, a figure descended from the sky. It blocked his way. I didn't want to kill you, but you just humiliated the human clan. I can't let you go. Li Zongjie turned back with a smile on his face. Chapter 1452. The second elder of the Fire Dragon tribe had transformed into an old man. When he saw Li Zongjie chasing after him, he was so scared that he broke out in cold sweat. How could he break out in cold sweat in such a hot environment? It could be seen how terrified the second elder was of Li Zongjie. I surrender. I'm willing to submit to you. The second elder of the Fire Dragon tribe said in a deep voice. However, there was no sincerity in his eyes. It was as if he had been forced into a desperate situation. His face was full of unwillingness. At the same time, the second elder of the Fire Dragon tribe was extremely confident. He believed that Li Zongjie would definitely treat him well, and treat him well. One had to know that it was a great honor to have a giant dragon submit to you. This meant that you had gained the recognition of the dragon tribe. Naturally, it was something worth bragging about. Li Zongjie might be considered strong among the humans, but it wasn't that easy to gain the recognition of a giant dragon. Therefore, Li Zongjie had such an opportunity, because the second elder of the Fire Dragon tribe didn't want to die just like that. He would come back to take revenge on Li Zongjie in the future. As long as he was alive, there would definitely be a chance. Moreover, Li Zongjie wouldn't be able to live for long on this dragon island. He was just pretending to surrender now. After making Li Zongjie happy, he would naturally stop killing. I didn't expect you to be such a spineless person in the dragon tribe. Li Zongjie immediately glanced at the second elder. He directly exposed the second elder's fake face. The second elder's face was stiff and as black as iron. Li Zongjie didn't immediately reply to the second elder's question. He directly raised the black dragon hammer in his hand and smashed it towards the second elder. Why do you still want to kill me? The second elder exclaimed, and was hit by Li Zongjie's hammer. He spat out blood and flew out. What's so special about a giant dragon mount? Li Zongjie had never cared about such things. Li Zongjie only wanted to experience the bluestone dragon. Although it was a great deterrent to ordinary people, Li Zongjie discovered that even if he didn't need the bluestone dragon to pull his carriage, he would still be able to use it. It was still full of deterrents. Wherever they went, as long as they heard the name Evil Lord, they would basically admit defeat. Some of them were further away, so sometimes they couldn't receive the message in time, and still lived in their own world. If they didn't know how powerful Li Zongjie was, then Li Zongjie would take the time to teach them a lesson. That would be enough to let them know how powerful he was. Even now, he didn't need to personally teach them a lesson. Li Zongjie already had a lot of followers. Of course, Li Zongjie didn't care. He would deal with those who needed to be dealt with. The second elder of the Fire Dragon tribe was directly killed by Li Zongjie. Then, he dug out the dragon pearl from the Fire Dragon tribe's elder. In just a few minutes, Long Ji came again. At the same time, she threw a dragon soul pearl to Li Zongjie. Obviously, this was the dragon soul pearl that belonged to the Fire Dragon tribe's great elder. You're really fast. Yes. Long Ji wasn't surprised that Li Zongjie killed the second elder. Li Zongjie's temper was also the weirdest that Long Ji understood during this period of time. She didn't know what kind of personality this guy had. Many things could be done at any time. It was hard to fathom. Of course, Long Ji didn't care what kind of person Li Zongjie was. Now that both sides cooperated, it was considered smooth. Your ancestral dragon's faction should have been mostly killed, right? Li Zongjie looked at Long Ji. They had just arrived, and they had already encountered such a powerful enemy. The Fire Dragon tribe's patriarch already had a cultivation of 2,300 years. If they continued, the evil dragon god would probably be a 3,000-year giant dragon. A 3,000-year giant dragon was already extremely terrifying in terms of strength. Li Zhongjiu estimated that if he wanted to deal with such a giant dragon, he would have to summon his will directly. However, Li Zhongjiu didn't know if the other party had also condensed his will. Li Zhongjiu naturally wasn't worried. Nothing could make Li Zhongjiu afraid. However, this poor little girl Long Ji would die sooner or later if she continued to fight. With her cultivation, it was simply not enough. Long Ji seemed to have noticed the pity in Li Zhongjiu's eyes. Immediately, a trace of pride appeared in her eyes. I don't know what will become of Dragon Island in the end, but protecting the ancestral dragon's inheritance is the responsibility of the Draconic Penitentiary. Long Ji was very responsible. Hearing the latter's words, Li Zhongjiu nodded his head. So this Long Ji was an idiot. She didn't even try to figure out the situation. She only knew how to charge around recklessly. She was very stubborn. If you Long Ji continue to act like this, who knows what will happen? For a mere belief that didn't exist, she was willing to sacrifice her life for a piece of broken land. Yet she said it so firmly. Li Zhongjiu really despised her. This is Dragon Island's matter, Long Ji said stubbornly, as if she didn't want to be looked down upon by Li Zhongjiu. Hence, she turned her head away, as if she wanted to say that they would settle the matter of Dragon Island themselves. Naturally, Li Zhongjiu was clear that he would settle the matter of the Dragon Island himself. At the very most, he would be wiped out by then. Who was righteous and who was evil? This kind of thing wasn't certain. Only the living have the right to continue writing history. Even if the Dragon Island wants to defeat that evil dragon god, it won't be that easy. Since the evil dragon god had the ability to rebel, he must have made sufficient preparations to completely destroy them. As for Long Ji, she naturally understood this point. However, as a member of the Draconic Penitentiary, she could only continue on this path full of thorns. Only death could stop her. After Long Ji transformed into a human, she was an extremely beautiful and charming existence among the human race. Now that she was in danger, she had no choice but to charge forward. This kind of feeling made one's heart ache. However, Li Zhongjiu didn't feel any heartache at all. What's there to feel heartache about? The path was chosen by oneself. However, this evil dragon god was indeed a threat. To Li Zhongjiu, he would have to fight with this evil dragon god sooner or later. Why not bring this battle forward? You, bring me to find that evil dragon god, Li Zhongjiu said. When Long Ji heard this, her delicate body trembled. This man was actually so interesting. He was simply the most hard-hearted and soft-hearted. On one hand, he looked down on her behavior. But now, he was willing to help her deal with the evil dragon god. It was truly touching. Just as the two were chatting, suddenly from the core of Dragon Island, a burst of energy exploded into the sky. Boom! This fluctuation was truly earth-shattering. The entire Dragon Island seemed to be trembling because of it. This caused Long Ji to be stunned. Not good, they're attacking the ancestral dragon land. The ancestral dragon, also known as the dragon ancestor. It was said that he was the founder of Dragon Island. It was also because of the dragon ancestor's power that some of the dragon tribe could survive. The reason why the evil dragon god was making such a big fuss and inciting so many dragon tribes to defect. First, it was to control the entire Dragon Island. Then, it would lead the entire Dragon Island to kill the other races and become the true king of all races. Now the final battle had finally erupted. Let's go, Li Zhongjiu said. Long Ji, on the other hand, shook her body and transformed into a giant purple dragon. Come up, I'll bring you there. It'll be faster, Long Ji said. Immediately, Li Zhongjiu flew and landed on Long Ji's back. Boom! A gale swept up. Long Ji transformed into a ray of purple light and quickly rushed forward. Chapter 1453. Ancestral Dragon's Graveyard. It could be said to be shining brightly with waves of energy. Both sides could be said to have sent out all their experts. Among them, there was a black dragon leading. This dragon was the culprit behind all of this, the evil dragon god. The evil dragon god belonged to the black dragon bloodline. The black dragon. It was even said that the evil dragon god's bloodline had shown signs of atavism. So his bloodline could be considered as the true ancient black dragon bloodline. Under the evil dragon god's command, 7 of the top 10 dragons of the dragon clan had come. Apart from the 4 elemental dragon clan leaders, the clan leaders of the Golden Dragon Clan, Blood Dragon Clan, and White Dragon Clan, all of them had submitted to the evil dragon god. On the side of the Draconic Penitentiary, most of them were mutated dragons. The members recruited by the Draconic Penitentiary were all mutated dragons with special abilities. Although they looked a little strange, their strength and potential were all extraordinary. It was not that simple. However, it was precisely because the Draconic Penitentiary's composition was a little special that in the eyes of these people, they were a different race from the Dragon Clan. To let these different races guard the graveyard of their dragon ancestor, it was naturally very unsuitable for them. In addition, the Draconic Penitentiary had brought too much fear and trauma to the other dragons for too long. That was why these people were in so much pain. They had waited until today to completely explode. They wanted to fight to the death with these Draconic Penitentiary. The evil dragon god's body was not big, less than 150 feet. However, his aura was the most powerful one present. There were a total of nearly 20 experts on the Draconic Penitentiary's side. It could be said that the true elites had come out and summoned all of their subordinates. However, it was clear that these people's strength was still not enough. Just these 7 experts of the Dragon Clan alone represented an entire branch of the Dragon Clan. Now that all of them had gathered, the remaining manpower of the Draconic Penitentiary was not enough. The 7 clan leaders of the Dragon Clan all had a cultivation of 2,500 years and above. Among them, the first was the clan leader of the Blood Dragon Clan, 2,900 years of cultivation. The second was the clan leader of the Golden Dragon Clan, 2,800 years of cultivation. The third was the clan leader of the White Dragon Clan, 2,600 years of cultivation. Cultivation did not represent age, but a way of evaluating the Dragon Clan's combat strength. At the very least, the 2,900 years of cultivation meant that he was close to reaching the peak of the Absolute Saint realm. The hidden power of the Dragon Clan was quite astonishing. Therefore, it was unclear whether the Sacred Martial Realm was more powerful, or whether the Sacred Martial Continent was more powerful. Or perhaps the 2 continents were originally the same continent, but later formed the Untainted Land. Due to various circumstances, the 2 continents were directly separated. The power of the Sacred Martial Realm had also been weakened before. There had been a period of decline. With such power, it was indeed very normal for the Dragon Island to not put the human race in their eyes. What was there to say? There were only a few supreme beings in the human tribe. Of course, there were a lot of supreme beings in the Untainted Land. However, there was not a single supreme saint in the Untainted Land. At present, there was also Li Zhongjiu and Qi Yinran to support them. It was still okay. However, the strength of the 20-odd people in the Draconic Penitentiary was truly formidable. They were actually able to withstand the attacks of the other party. 10 figures appeared in the sky. These 10 were the supreme beings of the Devouring Yuan clan that were still alive in the Shengwu continent. They were also the most powerful beings of the Devouring Yuan clan. The 10 of them did not make a move. They just watched from afar. After all, now is not the time to make a move. Watching the Dragon Clan killing each other in front of them was a very enjoyable thing to watch. These 10 supreme beings of the Devouring Yuan clan were all in the Earth realm. Moreover, their cultivation was also in the Absolute Saint realm, the Absolute Saint of the Devouring Yuan clan. This evil dragon god's combat strength is indeed formidable. The other clan leaders of the Dragon Clan are only 3,000 years of cultivation, but this evil dragon god's combat strength is close to 4,000 years. They were more than 1 level higher. That was why there was such a huge gap. If the people of the Draconic Penitentiary didn't cultivate in the ancestral Dragon Land all year round and receive a boost in strength here, they wouldn't be a match for these people in front of them. However, the evil dragon god was only a small figure, but it easily defeated the experts of the Draconic Penitentiary. Boom! The evil dragon god fought against 3 experts by himself. He held back the 3 overlords of the Draconic Penitentiary. These three overlords all had a cultivation of 3,000 years. If it was any other time, any one of them could easily wipe out the entire dragon clan. That was why the Draconic Penitentiary was so terrifying. It even became the top trial ground of the Dragon Island. However, the Draconic Penitentiary had never participated in any change of authority. It had always followed the teachings of its ancestors and guarded the ancestral dragon graveyard, never leaving. Of course, it didn't hesitate to capture the rebels of the Dragon Clan and punish them. However, the strength of the Draconic Penitentiary was too strong. The rest of the dragon tribes were naturally afraid of the existence of such a powerful force. If you say you won't take action, then you really won't take action. Who knows the specific situation? As long as you're still alive, you're already a threat. The three wardens of the Draconic Penitentiary had used all their moves, but the evil dragon god was unscathed. In fact, the previous attack could be said to be a joint attack by the three of them in an attempt to defeat the evil dragon god. But the evil dragon god easily blocked it. The subsequent attacks had also caused quite a number of injuries to the three of them. Looking at the remaining experts of the Draconic Penitentiary, they were almost stalled by them. Immediately the warden roared, "Retreat to the ancestral land." If they didn't retreat now, there would be casualties. The rest of the experts of the Draconic Penitentiary flew out after hearing the order. They flew towards the ancestral dragon graveyard. They went into hiding again. At least the ancestral land's protective array was not something the evil dragon god could break through. Do you think you can escape? The evil dragon god glanced at the experts of the Draconic Penitentiary who were flying back. He wasn't worried. There were only 20 of them in total, so they weren't much of a threat. However, after taking down the three wardens of the Draconic Penitentiary, these people could only wait to die. The evil dragon god didn't care about the rest, but the three wardens had no chance to escape. Just as they were about to retreat, the experts of the Devouring Yuan clan attacked. Earth-level Devouring Yuan barrier. A cold light trapped the three top experts of the Draconic Penitentiary. Wang, the Yuan chi in their bodies was rapidly fading. If the Devouring Yuan clan was weaker, they might not be able to control their Yuan chi so well. There wasn't even a bit of Yuan chi left in their bodies. This showed how terrifying the Devouring Yuan clan was. They lost their Yuan chi. Their speed and fighting strength dropped instantly. Warden! Warden! Roar! The experts of the Draconic Penitentiary, who had already hidden, roared crazily when they saw the warden being stopped. Don't come out. You are the last hope of the dragon clan. The warden roared. The warden was a golden dragon, but his claws were crimson, and there was a red line on his abdomen. A crimson gold dragon. Although he was inside the Devouring Yuan barrier, the warden didn't give up resisting. Evil dragon, do you want to be the greatest sinner of the dragon clan? Chapter 1454. The three wardens of the Draconic Penitentiary were trapped. But they weren't panicking. They already knew that this was going to happen, so they weren't too worried. They just didn't expect the glory of the dragon clan to fall in their hands. Thinking of this, they were overwhelmed with emotions. This shouldn't have happened at all. They didn't expect the most outstanding member of the Draconic Penitentiary to become the biggest villain. The evil dragon god was also a member of the Draconic Penitentiary, but he became so evil later on. It could be said that the three wardens had taught him everything they knew. But now, the evil dragon god had honed his claws and fangs and turned against them. He even turned the Dragon Island into its current state. He was really a good disciple. You are outdated. You don't have the final say in the Dragon Clan, but the Radiant. Only under my leadership can the Dragon Clan prosper. You have become an obstacle to the Dragon Clan's development. Do I have to say more? The evil dragon god said slowly. Then he transformed. He transformed into his human form in front of the three wardens. Obviously, he had absolute confidence. There was no need for him to bare his fangs and brandish his claws. The three wardens in front of him were already at the end of their rope. They were really pitiful. The 7 clan leaders also transformed into their human forms, and the color of their clothes was similar to their true forms. They even looked down on other colors and thought that other colors were ugly. Only their skin color was the most perfect color in the world. The three wardens looked at each other and transformed back into their human forms. Being in human form wasn't a privilege of the human race. In fact, the dragon clan thought that this form could help them conserve energy and make it more convenient for them to do things. At least they could hear each other's words clearly when they were talking. The evil dragon god looked like a young man in his late 20s, but the evil in his eyes was monstrous. He was extremely powerful. If one kept staring at the evil dragon god's eyes, they would feel like they were lost in the darkness. You are so stubborn. Are the 7 of you going to follow this guy and destroy the world? The warden roared. But the 7 clan leaders were unmoved. They weren't interested in establishing a new order. They just had an excuse to destroy the draconic penitentiary. They were born from the same root. But you're too powerful, and you've become a threat to them. Naturally, they can't let you live any longer. I'm sure the Great Warden is aware of this. An ordinary man's wealth is his own ruin. The fault of the draconic penitentiary was that it was too powerful. The 7 of them all had various reasons to destroy the dragon prison. Not all of them were instigated by me. They were all believers of the evil dragon bloodline. Grandmaster, do you know now? The evil dragon god shook her head. When the head warden heard the evil dragon god's words with his own ears, he looked at the expressions of the other clan leaders. They were all incomparably cold, and there was even a hint of joy in their eyes. It was as if his heart had been struck by lightning. For many years, the draconic penitentiary had never asked about other things on the Dragon Island. Only when the Dragon Clan discovered something that endangered the Dragon Island would the draconic penitentiary carry out its duties. He thought that such an action would make the other dragons believe in the draconic penitentiary. However, it seemed like the first thing they thought about after becoming stronger was how to get rid of the draconic penitentiary. He was truly cunning and sinister. The despicable and shameless ways of the dragon race must have been learned from the human race. This was something that the evil dragon god was able to display to the extreme. It's getting late. I'll send you on your way first. Later, your disciples, my junior brothers and sisters, will all come looking for you one by one. The evil dragon god said. He spread out his hands. A ray of light filled with dark energy condensed in the center of his palms. However, just as the evil dragon god was about to attack, suddenly, a wave of energy was released from afar. Boom! The dozen or so experts present also sensed the appearance of this energy, and they were all very familiar with it. My good junior sister, I didn't expect you to be so loyal. The evil dragon god put away the dark energy in his hands. It was Longji. In the draconic penitentiary, besides the evil dragon god who had the best talent, Longji was second. However, Longji's cultivation time was far less than the evil dragon god's, so this situation happened. Longji's strength was not as strong as the evil dragon god's. As for Longji, the evil dragon god had invited her many times, wanting to develop her into his right-hand man. However, Longji did not accept his invitation. She had even said many times that she would protect the ancestral dragon graveyard with her life. Moreover, the draconic penitentiary was still the center. At that time, the evil dragon god knew that Longji could not be persuaded. Even so, the evil dragon god did not care. Although he had shown mercy to Longji, if she did not accept it, and insisted on coming to throw her life away, the evil dragon god would not be merciful in the slightest. He would definitely kill Longji. Those who wanted to achieve great things did not care about trifles. If the evil dragon god was so easily tied down by Longji, how could he achieve great things? It's little Ji. The 3 draconic penitentiary wardens also felt this aura. They could not help but raise their heads to look in the direction Longji came from. One must know that Longji's arrival was an act of suicide. Although they were moved by Longji's sincerity, under such circumstances, the 3 draconic penitentiary wardens still hoped that Longji could leave this place and go far away. When she had the strength to take revenge, she would come back and kill this traitor of the dragon clan. The purple dragon accelerated all the way. Li Zhongjie also truly felt Longji's speed. If he were to go at full speed, Li Zhongjie would at most be able to keep up with Longji, and he would not be able to maintain it for such a long time. In addition, there were some places on this dragon island that had extremely harsh environments. If one did not have a strong body, there was no way to get close. The slightest bit of carelessness would cause one to be directly struck by the terrifying astral winds. Therefore, Li Zhongjie did not try to be brave. Instead, he directly landed on Longji's body to save energy. Boom! Longji broke through the air and arrived. Without hesitation, she charged into the earth-level energy-devouring barrier. When Longji rushed over, the energy in her body also blasted towards the person in front of her. It was a purple dragon's aura. It blasted towards the evil dragon god. However, this dragon breath energy was easily dissolved when it came close. Because it was made of yuan energy, it did not have any effect in the earth-level energy-devouring barrier. There were no miracles. In just a moment it disappeared completely. It did not even touch the evil dragon god's hair. Huff! Evil dragon, do you want to deceive your master and destroy your ancestors? Longji transformed into a human. She was so angry that her chest heaved up and down. Chapter 1455. The evil dragon god looked at Longji indifferently. Didn't you escape from the dragon island? Why did you come back to die? The evil dragon god didn't want to kill Longji. Even if they became enemies in the future, at least she could live. But now that he saw Longji's situation, she was simply courting death. For the sake of his grand plan, he had no choice but to be ruthless. If he didn't do anything and just endured, his subordinates wouldn't be convinced. Although the 7 Dragon Clan patriarchs were on his side now, after he dealt with the threat of the Draconic Penitentiary, they would immediately turn against him. The clan leaders of the 7 Dragon Clans would definitely turn around to deal with him. Therefore, he had to be extremely careful. He had to be ruthless when doing things. Otherwise, the people in front of him would definitely not let go of any opportunity to eat him up easily. Therefore, after dealing with the people of the Draconic Penitentiary, he had to deal with the 7 Dragon Clans one by one. These old bones were all sinister and cunning. If he wasn't ruthless enough, how could he suppress these people? Little Ji, you shouldn't have come. Evil dragon, let your junior sister go. It's our fault. It has nothing to do with Longji and the others. The 3 prison wardens also stood out and pleaded for Longji, hoping that the evil dragon would spare her life. At least Longji was the hope of the Draconic Penitentiary. If she was killed, the Draconic Penitentiary would have no power to turn the situation around. Why bother? As long as you're loyal to me, I'll let the Draconic Penitentiary continue to exist. None of you will die. Great Master, are you going to let everyone in the Draconic Penitentiary die with you just because of this? You should know that once you die, none of the people in the Draconic Penitentiary will be able to escape. The evil dragon god said slowly. He had explained the situation very clearly. If they were still stubborn, the evil dragon god wouldn't have to be polite anymore. There was a limit to a dragon's patience. If the Draconic Penitentiary had submitted, he could borrow the power of the Draconic Penitentiary to fight against the 7 Dragon Clan patriarchs. Now that he had dealt with the Draconic Penitentiary, he still had to deal with the 7 Dragon Clan patriarchs. At least half of them must die. Otherwise, it would become a huge threat in the future. Of course, as long as the evil dragon god refined the power in the ancestral dragon graveyard, the 7 patriarchs wouldn't be in his eyes. Grandmaster, don't worry. Today, I am here to deal with senior brother evil dragon. Longji said indifferently. The evil dragon god smiled faintly and shook his head helplessly. Suddenly, the evil dragon deity's eyes changed. His target was the devouring Yuan clan's expert, who had set up the formation in the sky. 2 of the 10 devouring origin clan's experts were beheaded. Bang bang! With the black dragon hammer in his hand, Li Zhongjie approached the devouring Yuan clan members with ease and exploded their heads. Then, he charged towards the devouring Yuan clan members without hesitation. When the situation was under his control, he could talk more nonsense. However, if the situation was not under his control, he could talk about the situation on the spot first before speaking. Li Zhongjie did not only know how to act cool, When they spoke less nonsense, they wouldn't even greet you. By the time the third person reacted, it was already too late. By the time he regained his senses, Li Zhongjiu's black dragon hammer had smashed into his face. Boom! Not only was there an explosion, but the boundless lightning power also spread rapidly in all directions. It directly strung the remaining 7 people up. Boom! The 7 people who were strung up immediately felt a terrifying power that began to destroy their bodies. Some of them even had their third eye explode, because they weren't in the Yuan devouring zone. Although they were prepared, Li Zhongjiu's speed was too fast, and they couldn't react in time. Boom! The evil dragon deity instantly moved. He charged towards Li Zhongjiu. These devouring Yuan clan members were his main forces. They would be very effective against other clans in the future. But now, they were being killed by Li Zhongjiu. Naturally, he couldn't just watch as Li Zhongjiu killed all of his subordinates. You're courting death. The evil dragon deity rushed over. His powerful aura directly attacked Li Zhongjiu. Li Zhongjiu waved his hand. Bell of Chaos. The Bell of Chaos appeared in the sky and quickly enlarged. It directly enveloped the evil dragon deity and the other 7 clan leaders. Boom! The evil dragon deity's power was instantly entangled by the chaotic power. Boom! They felt the terrifying power coming from all around them. The evil dragon deity also roared. The 7 dragon tribe leaders also felt as if a huge mountain was crushing down on them. The 8 of them immediately attacked at the same time to resist the power of the Bell of Chaos. At this moment, Li Zhongjiu easily took the lives of the remaining devouring Yuan clan members. The lightning power on the black dragon hammer suddenly increased. It directly blew up the bodies of the devouring Yuan clan members in front of him. The last person was bold. He directly blew up his arms. His body immediately flew backwards. Only then did he avoid dying under Li Zhongjiu's thunderous attack. Whoosh! The latter kept retreating. He even directly crushed a teleportation scroll. A force enveloped the latter, and his body was instantly teleported away. At this moment, 10 Earth-level experts of the devouring Yuan clan. 9 died and 1 escaped. This was the real difference between them. It was a piece of cake for Li Zhongjiu to ambush the members of the devouring Yuan clan and kill them with his Yuan force. The remaining member had already escaped. Obviously, it was impossible for him to gather enough experts to deal with Li Zhongjiu or the dragon clan. Without the help of the evil dragon deity, it would be more difficult for them to open the dimensional door of the devouring Yuan realm. But now that they were facing an unknown assassin, it was better to escape as soon as possible. As the last expert of the devouring Yuan clan escaped, the pressure on the 3 wardens instantly disappeared. Then, the 3 of them widened their eyes and carefully looked at the figures in the sky. They were also shocked by the Bell of Chaos that blocked the 8 of them. It's the Bell of Chaos. Heavenly Sparrow Clan? The warden also knew about the origin of the Bell of Chaos. It was said that the Grand Elder of the Sky Sparrow clan had a similar Bell of Chaos. Long Ji saw that Li Zhongjiu had really killed all the devouring Yuan clan members. It was almost an instant kill. She was simply stunned. She stared at Li Zhongjiu with her eyes wide open. Little Ji, where did you find this helper? The warden couldn't help but ask. This was simply a god of war. The evil dragon deity suddenly threw out a punch. A dark evil aura exploded from his body and instantly blasted the cauldron away. The Chaos Bell also spun a few rounds in the sky. In the end, it was summoned back by Li Zhongjiu and stepped on under his feet. He stood in the air and looked at the evil dragon deity and the others. You black man. You must be the evil dragon deity that they were talking about. Chapter 1456. Li Zhongjiu stepped on the primordial bell. With the death of the devouring Yuan clan members, everyone's Yuan Qi was restored. Li Zhongjiu's Yuan Qi was not affected at all. Powerful energy spread out. The 7 dragon race patriarchs were extremely shocked when they sensed the power of the primordial bell that Li Zhongjiu had released. Just now, Li Zhongjiu had relied on this primordial bell to pin down all of them. If the evil dragon god hadn't intervened, they would have been dead already. It was likely that the 7 of them would also be suppressed by the primordial bell. Once they were suppressed by the primordial bell, it would not be easy to get out. The primordial bell's primordial bell was enough to crush them. It would not be easy to resist it. The evil dragon god glanced at Li Zongjio, looking at the fate of the devouring Yuan clan members. Although the evil dragon god was shocked, he did not show it. If he was dead, he was dead. He did not care. It would just be more troublesome. You're a human? However, the evil dragon god realized that Li Zongjio was not a member of the dragon clan. He was a human. The evil dragon god was quite surprised that a mere human could possess such power. Although the human race was talented, they lacked patience. Who knew how many years it would take for them to cultivate to such a level? However, Li Zongjio had actually appeared in front of him and killed the devouring Yuan race that he had recruited. This was a great provocation to the evil dragon deity. That's right. You can call me Evil Lord. I heard that you're causing trouble on Dragon Island. Swear to the heavens that you won't attack my human clan. Then I'll leave. Li Zongjio said. The reason why he did this was to save himself the trouble of fighting. After all, the evil dragon god was not weak. If they fought, it might take a few days. If the evil dragon god was willing to surrender, Li Zongjio could let him go. But Li Zongjio was sincere. In reality, from the evil dragon god's point of view, this was a deliberate insult to him, an attempt to kill his prestige. How could he, as an elite of the dragon clan, not know of such a despicable trick? How could he not know of such a despicable trick? At the same time, he had already figured out all these tricks. Thus, the evil dragon god smiled disdainfully. Childish. Do you think I won't be able to rule Dragon Island after killing these devouring Yuan clan members? The evil dragon god immediately sneered. Although the evil dragon god's skin was already quite dark, and he didn't feel much when Li Zongjio called him a little black man, the evil dragon god didn't feel anything. He didn't realize that this sentence was mocking him. He thought that it was just an adjective. That's not it. Just now I was afraid that these people would run away. That's why I killed them a bit faster. You guys are the strongest fighting force on the Dragon Island, right? 7 patriarchs. Why don't I know you guys? Li Zongjio looked at the patriarch of the Golden Dragon tribe and the others. Originally, Li Zongjio thought that he would meet old acquaintances from his previous life. This feeling of killing you again was indeed a little strange. However, Li Zongjio was surprised to find that he didn't know any of the people in front of him. It was already 3,000 years later when he came to find him in his previous life. For the dragon tribe, 1,000 years was almost a cycle. However, it was clear that the dragon tribe this time was relatively strong. Therefore, it wouldn't be a problem for them to last another few thousand years. Hearing Li Zongjio's words, the patriarchs of the dragon tribe were confused. What is this human brat talking about? Does he know them? Dream on. They are the high and mighty dragon tribe. How could they have seen a human like you before? What nonsense is he talking about? Human brat, this matter has nothing to do with you. Get lost. The patriarch of the Golden Dragon tribe roared in a low voice. He was wearing a set of golden clothes that looked like a dragon robe. He looked majestic without being angry. Moreover, one could tell at a glance that he was a muscular maniac. Although it was covered by the clothes, once it was exposed, after all, his explosive muscles were simply amazing and shocking. Li Zongjio picked his ears when he heard this. You. His words were full of provocation. Immediately, the patriarch of the Golden Dragon tribe was furious. This brat dared to look down on him. You're just a human. Watch me beat you into a meat patty with one punch. Immediately, the patriarch of the Golden Dragon tribe's body swayed. His entire body was emitting golden light, but he didn't transform into his true form to bully Li Zongjio. Instead, he threw a punch straight at Li Zongjio. This punch seemed ordinary, but if one was touched, it would definitely feel as if 100,000 rhinoceroses were trampling over one's body at the same time. Li Zongjio immediately activated the ancient golden body art, and his body also emitted a golden light. The light surged, and the two fists immediately collided. Bang! There was a loud explosion. Both of them used their own strength, and didn't use any other abilities. Li Zongjio's body swayed on the spot. However, the patriarch was directly blasted back. The patriarch of the Golden Dragon tribe was instantly sent flying. under everyone's gaze. He flew hundreds of meters away and landed on the ground with a loud bang, his feet dragging long marks on the ground. The accumulated soil buried half of his body under his body. The patriarch of the Golden Dragon tribe clutched his arm. Cold sweat flowed down his head. After the collision of the two fists just now, the patriarch of the Golden Dragon tribe's arm had been completely broken. What surprised the patriarch of the Golden Dragon tribe the most was that the moves and power that Li Zhongjie used just now were so familiar. It was the ancient golden body art of the Golden Dragon tribe. How did you use the long-lost cultivation method of the Golden Dragon tribe? The patriarch of the Golden Dragon tribe roared. Lost cultivation method? Li Zhongjie was shocked when he heard what the patriarch of the Golden Dragon tribe said. How could this be lost cultivation method? Are you kidding me? Li Zhongjie didn't expect such a thing to happen. The three wardens of the Dragon Penitentiary were stunned. What exactly was the background of this young human who had killed his way out? He had single-handedly held back 8 experts. At the same time, he had also killed the experts of the Devouring Yuan clan. Now, he had even forced the patriarch of the Golden Dragon tribe to retreat with a single punch. Are you kidding me? It's one thing for you to send the others flying. The Golden Dragon tribe expert that you sent flying just now was the best at close combat among the Dragon tribe. How could you send him flying just like that? Moreover, the three wardens were also extremely shocked by Li Zhongjie's moves. The ancient golden body art of the golden body art was not lost. However, only the first half of the ancient golden body art of the golden body art was left. The last part of the cultivation method, after breaking through to the absolute saint realm, was lost. It wasn't complete. Many of the Dragon tribe's books were incomplete. Where did Li Zhongjie get the complete ancient golden body art of the golden body art? Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to suppress the patriarch of the Golden Dragon tribe in one move. It could be seen that Li Zhongjie's strength was strong, and his origin was mysterious. Who is he, Xiaoji? The warden asked. Him? In the human race, it seems that everyone calls him Evil Lord. Chapter 1457. The dignified patriarch of the Golden Dragon tribe only has this little ability. Li Zhongjie didn't expect that the patriarch of the Golden Dragon tribe in front of him seemed to be much weaker than he had imagined. Even in terms of cultivation technique, there was already a strong suppression. Li Zhongjie was almost standing on the commanding heights, suppressing the patriarch. Therefore, the patriarch of the Golden Dragon tribe couldn't exert any effect in front of Li Zhongjie. Blood Soul Realm. The patriarch of the Blood Dragon tribe wasn't here to watch the show. Now that he found an opportunity, he quickly withdrew and approached Li Zhongjie. At the same time, the Blood Soul Realm erupted. A terrifying force instantly enveloped Li Zhongjie. It was different from the devouring energy barrier. In the Blood Soul Realm, the strength of the patriarch of the Blood Dragon tribe would instantly increase by 50%. A full 50% increase in strength was already a very top-notch realm barrier. However, this realm barrier only had an effect on the Blood Dragon tribe. If anyone else entered, their strength would be directly suppressed by 50%. This was an absolute suppression of strength. However, before the patriarch of the Blood Dragon tribe attacked, he felt an extremely powerful force. It was devouring the power of his realm. What? Just as the patriarch of the Blood Dragon tribe was shocked, his Blood Soul realm was actually completely suppressed by the power released by the other party. Blood Soul Hell. The Blood Soul Hell merged with the Hell Prajna technique. The power formed far exceeded that of the Blood Soul realm. It could even be said that it was much more complete than the Blood Soul realm. Now that such power was displayed, it easily devoured the Blood Soul realm of the Blood Dragon tribe's patriarch. Is that all you can do? Li Zhongjie frowned. He could feel that the other party's Blood Soul realm didn't seem to be complete. It seemed that the power of the Blood Soul realm, after 3,000 years, was the true complete power. Now it wasn't complete power for them. Although their cultivation had increased, their combat strength hadn't increased much. The extra yuan energy couldn't keep up with their cultivation realm. This was very awkward. Therefore, Li Zhongjie easily injured the Blood Dragon clan's patriarch. The blood spirit world that he had painstakingly condensed was so easily broken and absorbed. It was also extremely cruel. It was equivalent to having one's cultivation instantly reduced by 50%. Bang! The leader of the blood dragon tribe also descended from the sky. He landed heavily on the ground. He fell not far away from the Golden Dragon clan's patriarch. The two top experts had both failed. The patriarchs of the Golden Dragon tribe and the Blood Dragon tribe. Both of their strengths were ranked in the top 3 among the 7 clan leaders. The only one who could contend against the two of them was the White Dragon clan leader. But now both of them had been defeated. The others also looked at Li Zongjiu in disbelief. This was not a difficult victory after tens of thousands of rounds of battle. Instead, he had defeated his opponent in the blink of an eye. What they displayed were the cultivation methods that they were most proficient in. Just what in the world was up with this human? Could he be the reincarnation of the ancestral dragon? Could it be that this person is the reincarnation of the ancestral dragon? How could he be so proficient in the unique skills of the dragon tribe? The third warden of the Draconic Penitentiary said in surprise. He did not believe that someone could be proficient in so many martial arts techniques. Who would have thought that there would be such a perverted person among the humans? How could the rest of the dragon tribe survive? Don't talk nonsense. The second warden scolded. Even if he was reincarnated, he was still a dragon. Li Zongjiu was clearly a human. How could he be the reincarnation of the ancestral dragon? Reincarnation, my ass. The bull's head does not match the horse's mouth. Although they did not believe it, Li Zongjiu must have a great relationship with the seniors of the dragon tribe. Otherwise, how could Li Zongjiu have mastered all the complete martial arts of the dragon tribe? As long as he had one of these unique skills, he would be able to dominate the entire dragon island. Li Zongjiu had now shown 2 of them. The evil dragon god was also very interested in Li Zongjiu after seeing that he had defeated the 2 clan leaders. It seemed that Li Zongjiu's origin was not simple. There must be some secret in it. White Dragon clan leader, go and test him. It was a good opportunity to take advantage of Li Zongjiu to teach these clan leaders a lesson. Otherwise, these dragons would think that they were invincible. They would not take him seriously. It would save him a lot of trouble to deal with them one by one. The White Dragon clan leader did not hesitate. He did not believe in this evil. He was very confident in his own strength. After all, the unique skills of the White Dragon tribe were very difficult to comprehend. If it were not for his innate talent and intelligence, it would not be easy to learn them. An extremely obscure ripple gradually spread out. Immediately, a distortion of power could be clearly felt in the sky. Along with this distortion of power, it was a state of closure. Everyone around felt their bodies involuntarily floating up. It was as if their feet were about to leave the ground. It was as if they were floating in the air. White God Fu spiritual binding. The unique skill of the White Dragon lineage, White God Fu. His powerful mental energy was able to bypass all restrictions and control you. Once such terrifying strength was unleashed, it would definitely be an earth-shattering existence. He wanted to bind Li Zongjiu. Naturally, it was very easy. Li Zongjiu was proficient in 2 types of secret techniques, which was already amazing. However, it was impossible for anyone to be able to compete with the White Dragon clan's patriarch in terms of mind power cultivation under such circumstances. After all, this was the only thing he could eat. The formless spiritual power turned into a terrifying spiritual storm chain, which headed straight for Li Zongjiu to bind him. Boom! Li Zongjiu shook his head in the storm. He stood on the spot and did not move. The White Dragon clan leader was pleasantly surprised. After all, Li Zongjiu looked as if he was completely helpless. In front of this endless, invisible spiritual power, how could a mere Li Zongjiu resist? It must have let you feel what was called true irresistible power. Absolute suppression in terms of spiritual power. It was enough to kill Li Zongjiu. This was also the reason why the Golden Dragon clan leader and the Blood Dragon clan leader did not dare to pat their chests and say that they were number 1. Although the White Dragon clan leader's cultivation was a little weaker than theirs. However, this gap was almost negligible. The truly terrifying thing was this pervasive spiritual power. Die! Once bound by the spiritual power, Li Zongjiu could die instantly with just a thought. However, Li Zongjiu spread his hands. White Dragon Clan. White God Fu. Is this all you have? Don't call it White God Fu. Just call it White Worm Binding. It's not a problem to catch a little worm. The terrifying thing was that under the control of the White Dragon Clan leader's spiritual power, Li Zongjiu acted as if nothing had happened. Chapter 1458. The clan leader of the White Dragon Clan thought that he was dreaming. Li Zongjiu had been completely enveloped. Why did Li Zongjiu look so indifferent? Could it be that he was not hallucinating? Then he looked at Li Zongjiu. Suddenly, Li Zongjiu's eyes shone with a bright light. Buzz! The body of the White Dragon Clan leader instantly stiffened. It was as if he had been petrified. When the evil dragon god saw the change in the White Dragon Clan leader, he immediately reached out and grabbed the White Dragon Clan leader in front of him. At this moment, the White Dragon Clan leader was still expressionless and motionless. Even his eyes were lifeless. Trash! With just a glance, the evil dragon god knew that the White Dragon Clan leader was dead. A battle of mind power was often more thrilling than one could imagine. If one was not careful, one's mind power would disappear completely. One's mind power would be instantly wiped out by the opponent. So now, the White Dragon Clan leader had been defeated in the battle just now. Moreover, Li Zongjiu had wiped out his mind power, which was equivalent to wiping out his soul power. So the White Dragon Clan leader, now he was already a dead man. His body would soon return to its original form. The evil dragon god threw the corpse of the White Dragon Clan leader far away. After a while, it transformed into its original white dragon form. It appeared directly in front of them. Everyone saw the corpse of the White Dragon Clan leader displayed here. Their expressions changed drastically. He had killed the clan leader of the White Dragon tribe so easily. What was Li Zongjiu's background? His strength was so terrifying. As for the death of the White Dragon Clan leader, the Blood Dragon Clan leader, and the Golden Dragon Clan leader were not surprised at all. Because in the battle just now, the two of them knew how big the gap between them and Li Zongjiu was. As long as Li Zongjiu wanted to, he could easily kill them with a thought. But for some reason Li Zongjiu held back. He only defeated them. Too ferocious, too ferocious. Seeing how powerful Li Zongjiu was, and how he was slaughtering his way through the evil dragon god camp. The evil dragon god camp's morale had been completely wiped out. The three wardens in the Draconic Penitentiary were also excited. The experts of the Draconic Penitentiary in the Ancestral Dragon Formation wanted to come out, but they were stopped by the third warden. The current situation was still unclear. He decided to wait and see. If he were to remove the Ancestral Dragon Grand Array rashly, he would be sending himself to his doorstep for nothing. Hence, it was better to be careful. After all, the evil dragon god hadn't even made a move yet. Although Li Zongjiu was powerful, he might not be this evil dragon god's match. However, the current situation had already taken a huge turn. At the very least, the evil dragon god's faction no longer had an overwhelming victory. With the appearance of Li Zongjiu, the other party's arrogance was completely suppressed. Longji did not expect this. Li Zongjiu was actually willing to help. After all, dealing with the evil dragon god was a matter of courting disaster. However, Li Zongjiu had killed so many experts of the Devouring Yuan clan along the way. The evil dragon god probably wouldn't let Li Zongjiu go. There would be a battle between the two sides sooner or later. It wasn't too late for Li Zongjiu to make a move now. The three clan leaders had all been defeated. The remaining four clan leaders, although they had some strength, did not dare to blindly participate. After all, his strength was nothing compared to this place. Even the White Dragon Clan leader was dead. Hence, it would be easier for Li Zongjiu to kill the four of them. They should take advantage of this good opportunity to escape. The remaining four clan leaders did not dare to make a move. They all hid behind the evil dragon god. The evil dragon god also knew that these trash were unreliable. No wonder it had been suppressed by the Draconic Penitentiary for so many years. Now he had finally found the reason. The evil dragon god was not in a hurry to kill the people in front of him. They would definitely be useful in the future. The most important thing now was to deal with Li Zongjiu. If you are willing to submit to me, I can spare your life. When conquering the myriad worlds, he needed to have a lot of people in his hands. A person like Li Zongjie would be a very useful assistant to him. Follow me to the myriad worlds. When I become the ruler of the myriad worlds, you will be the vanguard general. The evil dragon god also spoke of his grand wish. At the same time, he glanced at Long Ji and the others. Unfortunately, Long Ji and the others could not be persuaded. You little black? Li Zongjie looked at the evil dragon god in front of him and laughed disdainfully. Although Li Zongjie didn't know what the concept of the myriad realms was, he knew that it wouldn't be easy to survive in the myriad realms. Li Zongjie had seen a true powerhouse, a person who stood at the peak and had the combat power of the peak. It was the powerhouse from the Ape Clan. The Ape Clan was also one of the 9 clans. It could be said that the 9 clans had truly established a complete history, enough to leave a mark in the heavenly Tao. That powerhouse from the Ape Clan. He grabbed the Beast God Tower with his bare hands. He had exterminated the entire fallen race, and even forced them into the sacred martial realm. It was enough to see how ferocious this powerhouse from the Ape Clan was. He did not give them a chance to breathe and directly killed them. Li Zongjie was confident in his own strength, but he also knew that the Ape Clan was powerful. With his strength, it was impossible for him to defeat them. The other party could cripple him in minutes. If he met this powerhouse from the Ape Clan now, Li Zongjie would only need to lie on the ground. It would be easier to die like this. As for the little black dragon in front of him, its aura was far inferior to the powerhouse from the Ape Clan. He did not know what children these days were thinking. With this little strength, the powerhouse from the Ape Clan could kill you with a slap. You still have the nerve to say that you want to become the ruler of all realms. You might even be killed as soon as you step out of this door. The evil dragon god felt the provocation and disdain in Li Zongjie's words. This was a great insult to him. A mere human dared to look down on him. A cold light flashed in the evil dragon god's eyes. Are you mocking me? The evil dragon god emitted a cold aura. Isn't it obvious? Li Zongjie spread his hands, indicating that he was very obvious. He was mocking him. You asked for it, a group of ignorant people. The evil dragon god abruptly turned around, and a dark aura instantly erupted from his body. The power of darkness was like layers of cotton quilts, spreading out between the sky and the earth and surrounding Li Zongjie. It's the Black Dragon Clan's Hell Prajna technique. The wardens of the Draconic Penitentiary hurriedly cried out. The first master of the Draconic Penitentiary was actually a member of the Black Dragon Clan. The main cultivation method he cultivated was the Hell Prajna technique. Only after learning it would one deeply understand how powerful it was. It wasn't something that could be resisted so easily. In front of those who were not proficient in the Hell Prajna technique, no one could escape from the terrifying power of hell. It would definitely be easy to kill them. Li Zongjie was deep in hell, and would definitely encounter great danger. Li Zongjie was about to be swallowed by the power of hell. The 3 wardens made a prompt decision. Old 3, you stay here. We'll go help our friend Evil Lord. Although Li Zongjie's nickname was Evil Lord, he was at least attacking the evil dragon god. He was their friend in the Draconic Penitentiary. They had to help Li Zongjie. After all, Li Zongjie was helping them kill so many people in front of them. At least they could turn the situation around. All right. With a boom, the 2 of them rushed to Li Zongjie's side. Li Zongjie saw the 2 approaching, and could not help but frown. What are you doing here? Li Zongjie looked at the 2 of them. The Draconic Penitentiary is grateful that our friend Evil Lord is willing to help. At the same time, we can't watch our friend die. The power of hell is not something ordinary people can resist. The evil dragon has cultivated the Hell Prajna technique to the 5th level. Ordinary people can't resist it. The warden said. Then can you stop it? Li Zongjie looked at the 2 of them, and did not look like they could resist it. We can hold on for a while. Find a way out. The 2nd warden of the Draconic Penitentiary said. Forget it. I'll do it myself. Li Zongjie said. He looked up at the power of hell displayed by the evil dragon. The power of darkness? This is the dark hell. Such pure power of darkness. Li Zongjie suddenly felt the origin pearl in his body. The black dragon's origin spirit, which should have been hidden, actually showed itself at this moment. It was very interested in the power of darkness that filled the sky. Where could he find such pure power of darkness if he left this place? Feel my dark boundless hell. Li Zongjio immediately raised his hand and waved at the sky. Suddenly, the power of darkness of the evil dragon god rushed into Li Zongjio's palm. This scene scared the evil dragon god to death. How is this possible? Why isn't this guy restrained by my power of darkness? Why is he still absorbing my power of darkness? Li Zongjio's move not only frightened the evil dragon god, but also the two wardens. At the same time, a terrifying black dragon shadow appeared behind Li Zongjio. Chapter 1459. The evil dragon god felt that not only did the power in his body not cause any harm to Li Zongjio, but it also strengthened Li Zongjio's own strength. It seemed that Li Zongjio had absorbed it. At the same time, he could see the black dragon shadow behind Li Zongjio. When he saw the black dragon shadow, the evil dragon god was stunned. He was a member of the Black Dragon clan. But the Black Dragon clan was already very rare. As a member of the same clan, the evil dragon god must know who was in the Black Dragon clan. But when he saw the black dragon shadow, he realized that he didn't recognize the Black Dragon clan in front of him. But he still felt a sense of oppression from the Black Dragon shadow. Such powerful power. My Black Dragon clan's original spirit was refined by you. The evil dragon god's eyes shone with a cold light. He didn't know when the Black Dragon clan had fallen for his trick. But to kill a Black Dragon clan's original spirit was equivalent to looking down on the dignity of the Black Dragon clan. It was infuriating, especially to the rare Black Dragon clan. The two wardens of the Draconic Penitentiary, who had caught up, also saw the black dragon shadow behind Li Zongjio. Naturally, they glared at him. The original spirit of the Dragon clan. Li Zongjio had mastered the skills of the Black Dragon clan. He must have a deep connection with the Black Dragon clan. But they didn't expect Li Zongjio to possess the original spirit of the Dragon clan. In that case, Li Zongjio could be considered an enemy of the Black Dragon clan. After all, Dragon Island didn't allow outsiders to refine the Black Dragon clan's original spirit. Even if you had the ability, you couldn't refine the Black Dragon clan's original spirit. Otherwise, the Black Dragon clan on Dragon Island would definitely come looking for trouble. Unless you could deal with all the Black Dragon clan. Otherwise, the Black Dragon clan would definitely stop you from doing such a thing. But now, Li Zongjio wanted to help Dragon Island defeat the evil dragon god in front of him. It's fine if he can defeat the evil dragon god. After all, he is the benefactor of our Black Dragon clan. The Grand Warden whispered. However, the second warden disagreed. He believed that Li Zongjio's behavior had already made him an enemy of the Dragon clan. After all, their Draconic Penitentiary also had one of the duties, which was to protect the rights of the entire Dragon Island. If they knew that someone had secretly hunted and killed a dragon and refined it into origin spirit power, they would definitely be punished. The Draconic Penitentiary would be the first to act. They continued to send out experts to kill these people and take back the dragon souls of the dragon race. At the same time, I want to kill you. This was to erase the humiliation of the Dragon clan. This matter cannot be settled peacefully. If you want to leave the Dragon Island, you must hand over your Yuan spirit. The second warden of the Draconic Penitentiary said in a deep voice. However, he was communicating with the other party at the moment, and did not tell Li Zongjio about it. If they were to fight now, and Li Zongjio didn't help them deal with the evil dragon god, the Draconic Penitentiary would also be destroyed. Therefore it was better to wait, and see what Li Zongjio would do. Outside of this dark hell, the others naturally didn't know what was going on. The Yuan spirit of the dark dragon summoned by Li Zongjio easily devoured the evil dragon god's power of darkness. The power of the evil dragon god was completely ineffective against Li Zongjio. It was easily blocked. The evil dragon god continued to attack, but it was unable to hurt Li Zongjio. Li Zongjio let out a low roar. Immediately, a terrifying power erupted from his body. Immediately, the dark dragon Yuan spirit behind him also surged. It fluttered and swallowed the dark domain in front of it. The source of the evil dragon god's power was basically completely absorbed by Li Zongjio at this moment. What other moves do you have? Li Zongjio finished absorbing the evil dragon god's power. Now the evil dragon god only had the power to barely maintain the dark domain. The evil dragon god felt the power in its body weakening. It couldn't muster up any strength. But how could it let Li Zongjio go so easily? It admitted defeat just like that. If I don't have some strength, how can I control the entire dragon clan? The evil dragon god roared in a low voice. Then, a strong light burst out from his hand. It could be seen that it was a shiny object. At the same time, a powerful pressure erupted from the small object in the evil dragon god's hand. Buzz! A terrifying power was released. The dark dragon god under Li Zongjio also felt a sudden pressure. Immediately, Li Zongjio's curiosity was piqued. What exactly was this thing? It actually had such an effect, and could release such a powerful pressure. Moreover, it was obvious that these things belonged to the dragon tribe. I don't know what kind of fancy thing you've created, Li Zongjio said indifferently. Although the pressure was strong, Li Zongjio wasn't afraid. The evil dragon god in front of him wasn't enough to scare Li Zongjio. If it was really powerful, it wouldn't have been forced into such a state. Evil dragon eye. Dragon eye? This dragon eye naturally didn't belong to the evil dragon god. The reason why the evil dragon god had such great power and talent was because of this dragon eye. That's why it had such great power. What a powerful deterrent. This thing is definitely not simple. It's an item of the Heavenly Dragon clan. The two wardens were extremely shocked at this moment. They didn't expect the evil dragon god to have obtained something that belonged to the Heavenly Dragon clan. And it was an eye that belonged to the Heavenly Dragon clan. Chapter 1460. By the time the evil dragon god reacted, he immediately knew that he had been tricked. What happened just now must have been a kind of illusion, which was why the evil dragon god was intimidated in an instant. Then, he raised his head and saw that the evil dragon eye had fallen into Li Zongjio's hands. Who are you? The evil dragon god roared. Li Zongjio played with the evil dragon eye in his hand. This evil dragon was a heavenly dragon. The ape clan that he had seen before had this kind of aura. So when Li Zongjio saw the evil dragon eye in his hand, he had an extremely direct feeling. Was it in existence on the same level as the ape clan? Li Zongjio held the evil dragon eye in his hand. Feeling the power coming from the evil dragon eye, he immediately knew that he had to go a long way in order to raise his strength to such a level. The gap between their realms was simply too great. This feeling was like a tiny ant meeting a giant dragon that could fly into the sky and dive into the ground. No wonder this brat is so confident that he can control the dragon clan. Li Zongjio also understood something in his heart. After all, with such a precious treasure in his hand, the power he could unleash was naturally extraordinary. However, Li Zongjio also felt that the evil dragon's eye had an extremely strong bewitching power, and even a powerful controlling power. If his own willpower wasn't enough, it would be very difficult for him to control the evil dragon's eye. Perhaps in the end, he might even be controlled by the evil dragon eye. Li Zongjio guessed that the evil dragon god in front of him was in such a situation. Return the evil dragon eye to me. The evil dragon god roared, and the yuan energy on his body exploded out once again, blasting towards the person in front of him. Be a good boy and stay in this hell. Li Zongjio moved his finger, and a power restrained the evil dragon god. Immediately, the evil dragon god felt the energy on his body being rapidly devoured. Just now, Li Zongjio was also aided by the black dragon origin soul. He had condensed his own dark hell. The attribute of the hell of darkness was to devour. Darkness devoured darkness. Whoever had a deeper and stronger darkness energy would be able to devour the darkness energy. Therefore, after Li Zongjio devoured the evil dragon god's darkness domain, it was equivalent to increasing his own cultivation in the darkness domain. Right now, the evil dragon god was at his wit's end in his own hell. Without any other source of power, they could only be easily trapped in Li Zongjio's hell. No! All around the darkness in an instant, the evil dragon god felt the pressure coming from all around him. This kind of devouring was suffocating and shocking. Darkness quickly engulfed the evil dragon god. With a wave of his hand, Li Zhongjiu dispersed the surrounding power. He landed on the ground. Everyone turned to look at him. They wanted to see who had won and who had lost. However, when everyone saw that Li Zhongjiu had appeared, and the evil dragon god was nowhere to be seen, the remaining 4 dragon clan patriarchs were all shocked. Where's the evil dragon god? Looking around, they couldn't find any trace of the evil dragon god. This immediately made them nervous. Long Ji's eyes lit up. It's done? Oh my god. Although Long Ji had confidence in Li Zhongjiu, what kind of person was the evil dragon god? Even the 3 wardens of the Draconic Penitentiary couldn't defeat him. They could only temporarily hold him back. The evil dragon god had single-handedly turned the entire dragon clan into such a state. In fact, he didn't rely on much talent, but the power of the evil dragon eye. Otherwise, no matter how talented he wouldn't be able to do this. It was truly shocking. He had even turned the entire Dragon Island against him. Even the Draconic Penitentiary couldn't do such a thing. Then, Long Ji saw the 2 wardens lying on the ground. They seemed to be severely injured due to exhaustion. However, Long Ji quickly helped the 2 wardens up, and found that they weren't injured at all. They looked more like they were asleep. They were hypnotized, Li Zhongjiu said. Hypnotized? It wasn't easy to hypnotize someone at the warden's level. Clearly, this wasn't Li Zhongjiu's doing, but the evil dragon god. However, when she looked around, she couldn't see the evil dragon god. Where's the evil dragon god? Long Ji asked. At the same time, she injected yuan energy into the 2 wardens' bodies. It helped the 2 wardens recover as soon as possible. They were only slightly affected, so it wasn't a big deal. She just needed to wake them up. I took it, Li Zhongjiu said indifferently. He didn't explain too much. At the same time, he looked at the remaining 4 dragon clan leaders. The 4 of them were immediately shocked. Obviously, Li Zhongjiu had killed them. Now it was time to kill them. However, looking at Li Zhongjiu, he didn't seem to be interested in taking action. Spread the word that I, evil Lord Li Zhongjiu, will kill every member of the devouring Yuan clan on sight, Li Zhongjiu said to the leaders of the 4 dragon clans. At the same time, it was a warning to Long Ji and the others. Tell them, even if you're from the dragon clan, don't even think about cooperating with the devouring Yuan clan. If Li Zhongjiu found out, he would really kill every member of the devouring Yuan clan on sight. Next, Li Zhongjiu would form a team to exterminate the devouring Yuan clan. They would hunt down the members of the devouring Yuan clan all over the continent. He wanted to kill every single one of them. In this regard, Li Zhongjiu had never been lenient. He had to kill every single one of them. The 4 dragon clan leaders heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed like Li Zhongjiu didn't want to find trouble with them. In that case, they were naturally relieved. If they really fought, they would die without a doubt. However, even if Li Zhongjiu didn't deal with them, the people in the Draconic Penitentiary would. It would be troublesome. The 4 dragon clan leaders looked at each other, and then flew away at the same time. At least, it would be extremely dangerous if they continued to stay here. Perhaps the people in the Draconic Penitentiary would want to kill them now. Hence, everyone immediately ran away in a frenzy. Swoosh! Swoosh! The dragons that the clan leaders had brought along with them were also darting off into the distance swiftly. Now that such a serious situation had occurred, it wasn't easy for them to rebel, but they were overthrown. It really made them want to cry, but no tears came out. Was there anything more unlucky than this? It simply made people feel extremely miserable. If you find any traces of the devouring Yuan clan, remember to inform me, Li Zhongjiu said to Long Ji. Thank you, evil lord, for your help. Long Ji immediately cupped her hands and said to Li Zhongjiu. Even the people in the Draconic Penitentiary behind her bowed to Li Zhongjiu. It was quite a high level of etiquette, enough to prove their recognition and admiration for Li Zhongjiu's contribution this time. However, Li Zhongjiu didn't even look at them. He didn't care about the highest level of etiquette. Immediately, Li Zhongjiu's figure flickered. Boom! He disappeared into the sky. Now that he had finally obtained the evil dragon eye, Li Zongjie naturally wanted to study such a treasure. After all, if Li Zongjie wanted to break through, he had to start with the evil dragon eye. He didn't expect the evil dragon eye to give him such a big gift. After Li Zongjie left, the two wardens also woke up with the help of Long Ji. Evil dragon deity Li Zongjie, none of you can leave. When the second warden opened his eyes, the first thing he did was roar. Long Ji was stunned. What's wrong with the second warden? Did he have a nightmare? Second master? What's the matter? Evil Lord has already subdued the evil dragon deity. Long Ji believed that the second prison warden had suffered too much damage in the illusion. Or maybe he saw some hallucinations during the hypnosis. That's why this happened. However, the Great Master and the Great Warden didn't answer. They just remained silent. Their eyes were filled with hesitation. After all, this matter was indeed confusing. Li Zongjie killed a giant dragon, refined it into an original spirit, and stole the dragon clan's unique skill. The draconic penitentiary must kill him, the second warden said in a cold voice. Naturally, the draconic penitentiary couldn't let Li Zongjie go. They must kill Li Zongjie, get back the dragon clan's original spirit. No matter what the evil dragon deity did, it was the dragon clan's internal matter. Even if Li Zongjie didn't do anything, the dragon clan would still exist. It's just that the draconic penitentiary would disappear. However, Li Zongjie killed a giant dragon and forcibly refined it into an original spirit. With such a vicious method, it could even be said that this was already an irreconcilable enmity. The dragon clan's ancestral teachings would never allow such a thing to happen. The draconic penitentiary existed to ensure that the ancestral teachings could be carried out effectively. How is this possible? In Long Ji's heart, stormy waves were instantly set off. At the same time, her eyes widened. Her eyes were filled with disbelief. Chapter 1461. Long Ji immediately looked at the Great Master, who was also the Great Warden, with a look of seeking confirmation. Seeing the Great Warden's silent face, Long Ji knew in her heart that it was most likely true. Otherwise, the Great Master would not reveal such an expression. How could this be? Long Ji had never thought that there would be such a situation. Previously, when she saw Li Zongjie's attack, she did not think that Li Zongjie's power had anything to do with the Dragon Clan. Although he used the Dragon Clan's unique skills, there were many ways to obtain the unique skills of the Dragon Clan. Cruelly killing the Dragon Clan and refining them into origin spirits was one of them. Therefore, when she learned that Li Zongjie had done such a thing, she was shocked. She felt that it was inconceivable. As early as the time of the ancestors, the reason why the Dragon Clan was brought to Dragon Island was that a long time ago, the human clan discovered that the Dragon Clan's origin spirits had given them extraordinary power. Therefore, they began to secretly hunt the Dragon Clan. However, most of the Dragon Clan were noble and naturally would not be willing to become the origin spirits of the human clan. After that, the human clan used all kinds of terrifying means to hunt down the Dragon Clan, and even some young dragons. Although there were many experts in the Dragon Clan, they could not stop the poaching of the human clan. Moreover, they only killed some young dragons. Later, the Dragon Clan could not defeat them, and could not hide from them. Then they directly created Dragon Island. All the Dragon Clan directly gathered on Dragon Island. After that, the situation developed into such a situation. Moreover, such behavior of the human clan was listed as a forbidden area. The ancestral teachings were that if anyone did such a thing, they must gather the strength of the entire Dragon Island to kill them. Otherwise, the resentment of the Dragon Clan's undead would not be eliminated. And sooner or later, they would repeat the same mistake. To them, this was a very terrifying thing. There might be another battle between the human clan and the Dragon Clan. Therefore, this ancestral teaching had been left behind until now. It was necessary to clarify the matter. Great Master, Second Master, there must be a misunderstanding in this matter. How could Li Zongjie's actions be wrong when he saved the Dragon Penitentiary from danger? Long Ji quickly said, wanting to defend Li Zongjie. At the very least, he had to explain this matter clearly. Otherwise, the Draconic Penitentiary would have gone all out to hunt down Li Zongjiu. There's no way to verify that. The head warden and I both saw it with our own eyes. The second warden said in a deep voice. There had to be something wrong with the way things were going. Their expressions were extremely solemn, leaving no room for doubt or rejection. The evil dragon god had just left. In the blink of an eye, he had to deal with another evil lord. However, second master, evil Lord Li Zongjiu's strength is not something that we can withstand. Longji said hurriedly. Even though this was a great disrespect to the dragon race, it was still better than watching the dragon penitentiary die. How dare you? When has our dragon clan ever been afraid? The second warden said in a deep voice. At this moment, the second warden's aura was even more shocking. His aura was even stronger than when he faced the evil dragon god. When facing Li Zongjiu, it was obvious that he would be even stronger. After all, Li Zongjiu was just a human. In the eyes of the dragon race, Li Zongjiu was just a slightly strong existence from a weak race. There was no need to be nervous about him. Longji wanted to say something, but she did not know what to say at this moment. If she had known this would happen, she would not have brought Li Zongjiu here. The pursuit of the dragon race would be endless. From now on, the entire dragon race would start to deal with Li Zongjiu. Longji saw an unprecedented determination in the second warden's eyes, as well as anger and hatred towards Li Zongjiu. After all, what Li Zongjiu did was unforgivable. If I see him again, I will not be merciful, even if he saved the dragon race. The second prison warden seemed to be saying that he would let Li Zongjiu off this time, and deal with Li Zongjiu slowly in the future. The next time they meet, he would definitely not show any mercy. Longji wanted to say that he was being too impulsive. After all, Li Zongjiu was so strong. Whoosh! Suddenly, there was a piercing sound. A figure instantly landed on the ground. Everyone looked over. The one who flew back was none other than Li Zongjiu. Seeing Li Zongjiu fly back, everyone's eyes widened in disbelief. Why did Li Zongjiu come back? Could it be that he had overheard their conversation and wanted to come back and kill them? He even said that he would kill Li Zongjiu the next time they met. At this moment, he actually subconsciously took a step back. The second warden did not expect Li Zongjiu to turn back halfway. However, after Li Zongjiu turned back, he did not pay attention to Longji and the others. Instead, he went to the White Dragon Tribe's clan leader. The White Dragon Tribe's clan leader was unlucky. He was killed by Li Zongjiu's mind power. The Blood Dragon Tribe's clan leader and the Golden Dragon Tribe's clan leader were injured. But at least they were still alive. Li Zongjiu came to the White Dragon Tribe's clan leader and punched his head. Boom! From the countless pieces of flesh, Li Zongjiu accurately found the latter's dragon ball. This thing was very useful. It could be used to refine a kind of origin weapon and placed in the Li family's courtyard. It could be used to create an extremely powerful mind power cultivation treasure. Li Zongjiu would not waste such a good material. After taking away the Dragon Ball of the White Dragon Tribe's clan leader, Li Zongjiu left directly. The dragon's corpse. He did not like it. No matter how powerful it was just a dragon. What was so great about it? If he refined the dragon's corpse into something, there might be problems. It might even cause diarrhea. Last time he braised a black dragon, Li Zongjiu did not feel anything when he ate it. It was even harder to chew than ordinary meat. Therefore, he was not interested in the dragon's corpse. However, he could still have the dragon ball. He seemed to have felt the gaze of Longji and the others. Immediately, Li Zongjiu waved the dragon ball in his hand. He was telling Longji that he had taken the dragon ball. As for the Dragon King's treasure house, if Longji did not deliver it to him personally, Li Zongjiu would have to make another trip to Dragon Island and have a good talk with these people about the conditions that they had agreed on previously. He believed that Longji knew what to do. It was not worth Li Zongjiu's time to search for the so-called Dragon King's treasure house on such a big island. To Li Zongjiu, it was not worth it. He could have spent so much time looking for things here. Whoosh! Another ear-piercing sound was heard. Li Zongjiu left the Dragon Island again. The second warden, who was shouting so fiercely just now, did not make a move to deal with Li Zongjiu. Even the second warden had shrunk back to his original position. After Li Zongjie left, the scene became a little awkward. Naturally, Long Ji would not expose the second warden's awkward situation. Instead, the head warden had to step up to maintain the scene. Let's clean up the mess first. The head warden was not in a hurry. He stepped up and took charge of the scene. The second warden was shocked by Li Zongjie just now. If he had said anything just now, he might have been killed by Li Zongjie. Indeed, he was quick to back down. The current situation on Dragon Island was very delicate. Although the Draconic Penitentiary had won this time, there would be a real revolution in the future. Many dragons would not be restrained by the Draconic Penitentiary after this. At this moment, the head warden of the Draconic Penitentiary's eyes turned cold. Let's put the matter of Li Zongjie aside for now. We have to rebuild the reputation of the Draconic Penitentiary. Chapter 1462. Li Zongjie did not know that the second warden wanted to touch him. They even wanted to keep him on this Dragon Island. However, even if Li Zongjie knew about it, he would not care. It was fine for him to talk about it. Li Zongjie was not a petty person. Do you think I can stop you from talking? However, if there were any signs of a fight, Li Zongjie would take action in advance and nip all the danger in the bud. Li Zongjie did not go back to Dawn City first. Instead, he went to Sacred Flame Royal City. Sacred Flame Royal City, White Deer Mansion. Li Zongjie did not hide his identity. He landed outside the city. He had not returned for many years, because he wanted to see the current situation of Sacred Flame Royal City. However, Li Zongjie's identity was exposed after he entered the city for a short while. Taifai quickly gathered many core members. There were not many of them, but they moved quickly and came in front of Li Zongjie. Greetings, young lord. Greetings, young lord. Taifai, Yinghu Nangong Wuji Pan Shi, and the others were among them. When they heard that Li Zongjie had returned to Sacred Flame Royal City, they immediately put down everything and came here. The passers-by saw the scene in front of them. Immediately, a look of shock appeared on their faces. How could these commoners not know the identity of Taifai and the others? They were the real underground emperors. Although Taifai was not the city lord now, he still had to make decisions. If the city lord could not make a decision, he would seek advice from Taifai. Taifai could mobilize all the city guards with just a word. It could be said that the entire Sacred Flame Royal City was in the hands of the White Deer Mansion. Anyone who wanted to develop in the city would have to greet the White Deer Mansion first. If they were able to greet the White Deer Mansion, it would be a truly smooth journey. Taifai's reputation was still very high. When they saw that Taifai had actually brought his men over and knelt down in front of Li Zongjie, the surrounding commoners widened their eyes and did not even dare to breathe loudly. He didn't know the identity of this kind-looking young man in front of him, but judging from his aura, he wasn't an ordinary person. Rise all of you, Li Zongjie said, and asked everyone to stand up. Young master. Taifai and the others stood up. They were clearly excited to see Li Zongjie. If it wasn't for Li Zongjie's guidance, they wouldn't even know what they were now. How could they still be so influential in the Sacred Flame Royal City? How could they have such a high status? How could they be respected by everyone? Old man Nangong, how have you been? Li Zongjie looked at Nangong Wuji and said. Now the White Deer Mansion had become a place for Nangong Wuji to retire. Nangong Wuji was considered one of the faster ones to get into the car. Although he had a small motive at that time, he had worked for Li Zongjie many times, and even personally designed everything in the White Deer Mansion. Li Zongjie was also very satisfied. Many things had changed. Many things related to Li Zongjie were now quietly changing. However, Li Zongjie didn't care about this. Heavenly Star Medicine Manor, Imperial Martial Pavilion, and a series of academies were now famous all over the world. Many of the Li family's disciples were also studying in these great academies. Where's Xiao Zhao? Li Zongjie did not really care about the lives of the others. However, Xiao Zhao was the head of the White Deer Mansion. Most of the things were handed over to Xiao Zhao. Steward Zhao is now running around outside. The academy, named by the Li family, has been built. He's visiting famous teachers and inviting them to enter. Nangong Wuji said. The few of them were also heading towards the White Deer residence. Li Zongjio naturally remembered that the Li family built the Heavenly Sect Academy. Moreover, the dean of the Heavenly Sect Academy was Kuan Arashi's sister, Lan Yiyan. The situation in the Shengyan dynasty was very good. It could be said that the dynasty was really stable and prosperous. Even if there were some thieves, they wouldn't be able to cause much trouble. After all, no matter how good the social environment was, there would always be people who reaped without sowing. There would always be people who caused trouble. However, most of them were good, so many people needed to learn. When the conditions were good, the education naturally had to keep up. Heavenly Sect Academy, Heavenly Star Medicine Manor, Songhai Academy, and many other academies were also very many. It was really a place where hundreds of flowers were blooming. Who's so arrogant? He even wants Xiao Zhao to go personally? Li Zongjio was unhappy when he heard that. Letting you teach is giving you face. If you dare to put on airs in front of Li Zongjio, he will destroy you in minutes. He had never seen anyone who wasn't afraid of death. Steward Zhao said that if we invite someone to teach, we should be sincere. That's the only way to show respect for the teacher. I'll give him an order. Tell him to report to me in 2 days. Otherwise he doesn't need to come. Li Zongjio said unceremoniously. In this world, there was no one who needed Li Zongjio to invite. He was really giving these people too much face. Li Zongjio didn't need to be so polite. If you give me face, I'll give you face. If I want to give you face, I'll give you face. But if you say that I don't want to give you face, you won't even have a hair. That person's status is extremely special. In the past, the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor's Palace Master had personally invited that person but was rejected. It is said that that person's qualifications are even above the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor's Palace Master. Nangong Wuji pondered for a moment. In fact, there were quite a number of top experts hidden within the Saint Flame Empire. Originally, it was time for them to reveal themselves and display their strength. However, Li Zongjio had appeared out of nowhere and solved many problems for them. Therefore, these reclusive experts were forced to continue hiding, because there was no need for them to show themselves. But they had been hiding for too long, and even began to forget how fast the outside world changed. Li Zongjio didn't mind telling these people how fast it changed. Oh, who is he? Li Zongjio's interest was piqued. He didn't expect there to be such a person. This person's name is Zhong Xianshan. 200 years ago, he was already famous for his elixir skills. He is also a top array master. Now he is basically in seclusion and doesn't care about the world. If we can invite this person, Heavenly Star Medicine Manor will become the undisputed #1 in the continent. Nangong Wuji said. I thought he was very powerful. Li Zongjio smiled disdainfully. He had heard of this person in his previous life, but he had never met him. It was said that this person had offended the Dragon Clan, so he had been hiding in the array all day long like a coward. Of course, Li Zongjio didn't know the details. He didn't ask when he died, so he didn't know either. The few of them returned to White Deer residence as they chatted. Chapter 1463. The news of Li Zongjio's return was extremely low-key. However, it caused a huge uproar in the entire White Deer residence. Under such circumstances, everyone expressed their desire to pay a visit to Li Zongjio. After all, he was a true god. Therefore, they had to pay their respects to him. However, these people were stopped by Taifai at the door. What kind of people were they? How dare they come to visit Li Zongjio? Was he someone that ordinary people could meet just because they wanted to? Soon, Li Yun received the news and rushed over. After all, she was the king of the underground world. Usually, Li Yun did not need to manage the Ghost King Palace too much. She only needed to cultivate in the Ghost King Palace. As the successor of the King of Fire, Li Yun was quite famous in the underworld. Moreover, she had a godlike younger brother Li Zongjio. Basically, no one dared to stir up trouble. Just by casually announcing his name, no one would dare to provoke him. Why didn't you tell me that you were coming back? Li Yun complained when she saw Li Zongjio sitting above, and seemed to be in the middle of a meeting. I just came back to settle some things. Since you're here, Ask your men to gather information about the devouring Yuan clan, and report it immediately. Kill them if you can. Li Zongjie said. He happened to be talking about the devouring Yuan clan with these people just now. However, these people obviously had not heard of the devouring Yuan clan. Being able to hear about the ancient demon race was already very good. At least they could come in contact with this realm. But after Li Zongjie gave the order, he believed that these people would be able to act very quickly. At least, it wouldn't be difficult for them to figure out the doorway. These people would not be able to escape. Devouring Yuan clan? Didn't they go extinct long ago? Nangong Wuji seemed to have heard about it. However, according to what he heard, these people seemed to have gone extinct long ago, and no longer existed. He did not expect to hear such news again. This was a very terrifying race. It had 3 eyes. Although it looked like a human, it was completely different from the human race. It was known as the 3-eyed demon. Since Li Zongjie mentioned it, it meant that there must be traces of some people. Alright, I'll go back now and let them handle it. Li Yan said. This kind of thing was handled very quickly, and it didn't need to waste much energy. The specific information of the devouring Yuan clan still needed to be investigated thoroughly. In addition, there may be traces of the abyssal race in the North Sea. You should gather information as soon as possible and make preparations. Li Zongjie said. As for Li Zongjie's sky martial arc, it wasn't appropriate for him to hand it over to them for the time being. After all, these people didn't know how to pilot it. When Xiao Zhao returned and handed over the sky martial arc, he would definitely be able to make the best use of it. Li Zongjie was the only one who knew about all these major events in advance. After all, the realm was different. This was also the reason why one had to constantly improve one's level. Because only then could one see higher and further, and always be one step ahead of others. Instead of being kept in the dark forever, Li Zongjie had a meal with everyone. After arranging some work, he routinely rewarded his subordinates. After all, these people stayed here not only to enjoy the privileges they had now, but also to think about how to obtain some heaven-defying benefits. This was the most important thing. At the same time, there was news from the Tianyin dynasty that there wouldn't be any more incidents in the future. Therefore, everyone returned to their own dynasties. Li Tianqing was safe and sound. After all, the great elders of the Sparrow Divine Palace were here. There was nothing to worry about. The people of the Sparrow Divine Palace weren't that tactless. They escorted Li Tianqing back to the Luoxia city. At the same time, they were thinking of establishing the location of the Sparrow Divine Palace. However, without Qi Yinran's approval, they didn't dare to do so. After all, the real palace master was Qi Yinran. Whether Li Zongjie came back or not, the order here would still be carried out. Even if he came back, there wouldn't be any impact. After all, Li Zongjie wasn't interested in these things for the time being. Originally, he wanted to go to the Sky Sect Academy to take a look. After all, Li Zongjie came to the Sky Sect Academy with high hopes. But before that, he had to check on Qi Yinran's situation first. After all, Qi Yinran was trapped in the Greenbird platform. They needed to find out the exact situation first. After Li Zongjie checked the Greenbird platform, he found that his strength couldn't enter it. It was even difficult to affect it. Logically speaking, Li Zongjie shouldn't even be able to check on Qi Yinran's situation. This was also because Qi Yinran subconsciously trusted Li Zongjie. Therefore, the Greenbird platform could sense it, and allowed Li Zongjie to investigate the situation inside. I didn't expect that even with my strength, I still couldn't shake the inside of the Greenbird platform. What exactly is this thing? Li Zongjie was completely convinced. Gradually, Li Zongjie also figured out the knack of it. It seemed that Dragon Island, the Greenbird platform, the blade of creation in the hands of the heavenly demon tribe, and even Li Zongjie's 10,000 dragon hammer, came from an existence similar to the sky dragon's tooth. It was just that he didn't know why it had appeared here. Upper world. This was a very new term. Then Li Zongjie took out the evil dragon eye. The energy contained in this thing wasn't simple. Li Zongjie wanted to study it, and see if he could extract the energy from it. At the very least, He wanted to study what kind of power system it was. At Li Zhongjie's level, his strength didn't rely on cultivation or absorbing the yuan qi of heaven and earth. He didn't know how much yuan qi he absorbed, but it didn't have much effect on Li Zhongjie. Therefore, it was more important for him to comprehend it. If he could comprehend it thoroughly, he would be able to find the direction to break through this power and know how to cultivate it. The evil dragon eye. Because of this thing, the evil dragon brat was able to withstand the pressure of all the dragon tribes on Dragon Island and carry out a real rebellion. To be able to do this, strength alone wasn't enough. However, Li Zhongjie didn't think this guy was very smart. The evil dragon eye. In his hand was a pitch-black bead. It was slightly heavy. It seemed to only weigh about 3 to 5 caddies. But in fact, the inner world of this bead contained a world of its own. When one was immersed in it, one would feel the weight inside. It wasn't that simple. Therefore, Li Zhongjie was also feeling the power inside. The deeper one's strength was, the more weight one could feel, the greater the weight one could feel. At this moment, Li Zhongjie was also immersed in this infinite comprehension. His mind was immersed in it, just as Li Zhongjie was cultivating. At this moment, Xiao Zhao was running around for the Sky Sect Academy. He had already arrived at the foot of Green Bamboo Mountain. There was a bamboo forest with a radius of close to 10,000 mu in the vicinity. It was lush and verdant. When the wind blew, all the leaves intertwined together, as if playing a symphony. Xiao Zhao had been here for 2 days. However, Senior Zhong Xianshan didn't seem to want to meet Xiao Zhao. Xiao Zhao only brought one expert with him. It was Pavilion Master Yunqi of Zishuan Pavilion. Previously, she was only Palace Master Yunqi. Now, she was directly the Pavilion Master of Zishuan Pavilion. Palace Master Yunqi originally wanted to bring the top assassins of the Guzhang clan with her. If this person was unwilling, she would at least let them know how powerful she was. However, Xiao Zhao refused. After all, this time, they were going to invite him out of the mountain. It was already relative. If they disturbed him, they had to move him with sincerity. This bamboo forest is truly ever-changing. We've already gone up there 3 times. Every time, we've unknowingly been sent back. Yun Qi's expression was a little ugly. This time he came in person. Not only did he not invite him out, he didn't even see his face. He was directly rejected at the door. This made him very angry. You should at least say something if you want to go or not. You didn't say anything for half a day. You didn't even come out. How much did you look down on them? These people really don't know what's good for them. If young master comes, this person will definitely suffer. Yun Qi said. Don't be so rude. The other party is a well-deserved grandmaster of alchemy. If you want to invite him out of the mountain, you naturally need to be sincere. Xiao Zhao said. Come, let's go again. Maybe this time we'll succeed. Chapter 1464. The power within the evil dragons. I seemed to have swallowed Li Zhongjie's entire being. It was as if he was swimming in a sea of power. Then, Li Zhongjie used his own will to transform into a hammer. He arrived at the evil dragon's eye. This is... Li Zhongjie felt as if he had arrived at the inner world of the evil dragon's eye. However, the inner world in front of him was an eye-opener for Li Zhongjie. Looking around, this place seemed to be a training ground. When Li Zhongjie arrived here, it was as if he was a newbie. Below his feet was a muddy swamp. At first it was calm. However, all of a sudden, a terrifying force appeared beneath his feet. Within the muddy swamp, there seemed to be dozens of fat figures rushing towards Li Zhongjie. Hydra. When Li Zhongjie saw these things flying towards him, a look of surprise flashed across his eyes. He immediately saw what the thing that had rushed out was. A mere hydra dares to be impudent in front of me. If Li Zhongjie remembered correctly, this hydra should be a creature belonging to the demon race. He had never seen such an existence among the meta beasts. Immediately, the hydra descended. Li Zhongjie directly clashed with it. Boom! When their powers collided, a terrifying shockwave was created. In the next second, Li Zhongjie was dragged into the swamp by the hydra. It was difficult for him to get up. Snore. After Li Zhongjie was dragged down, he immediately felt a strong sense of oppression. The Hydra's 9 heads quickly rushed towards Li Zhongjiu. Under this illusion, Li Zhongjiu's power seemed to have disappeared. He had completely turned into an ordinary person. As the Hydra continued to attack, Li Zhongjiu felt that his body was constantly being torn apart. But at the same time, it was constantly being repaired, and then continued to be torn apart. The whole process was clean and tidy, but Li Zhongjiu's mental strength could not last forever. After experiencing tens of thousands of moments of being torn apart, Li Zhongjiu finally blacked out. When he opened his eyes again, he was already back in his secret cultivation room, as if he had never left. Fuck, what the hell is this? It's so ferocious. Li Zhongjiu was completely frightened. There was actually such a difficult trial. Even he couldn't withstand it. However, Li Zhongjiu could also sense the existence of such a powerful force. Even if he was at his peak, he might not have a chance of winning against this colossus in front of him. After all, the other party's strength was not simple. This made Li Zhongjiu even more surprised. The level of the other party's power. It was not at the level that Li Zhongjiu was at now. The difference was many times greater. In front of the Hydra, Li Zhongjiu could not withstand it. That was why Li Zhongjiu was so shocked. Take a break, let's do it again. Although Li Zhongjiu had been caught unprepared by the power just now, this crazy hell trial had actually been beneficial to him. Li Zhongjiu could feel the level of the other party's power even more clearly. What was power? Words alone might not be enough to describe it. If you really wanted to feel it, you still needed the other party to directly attack. You would know how powerful it was after fighting once. The trial field in front of him was already enough to feel how powerful it was. Li Zhongjiu had never encountered such a situation. Again, little did he know that Li Zhongjiu's strength was already extremely terrifying. Even if the evil dragon god entered the evil god's eye to resist, he would not be able to resist more than 10,000 times, just by relying on his own willpower. Li Zhongjiu's willpower sank. He entered the evil dragon's eye again. Boom! In just a short moment, the Hydra appeared in the swamp below his feet again. The Hydra directly overturned the river and the sea, trampling over the waves. The scene could be said to have been turned upside down, surging violently. At first, Li Zhongjiu could only rely on his own intuition to catch the first 100 attacks and easily dodge them. Later on, the other party's movements became stronger and stronger. He was dragged into the mud and had no chance of escaping. The overwhelming power came crashing down, almost completely suppressing Li Zhongjiu. He opened his eyes and reappeared in the same place. 15,000 times. Li Zhongjiu memorized this number in his heart. This was easy to remember. Later on, there was no need to resist at all. All he had to do was calculate the numbers. So Li Zhongjiu also memorized his own situation. After 7 or 8 times in a row, Li Zhongjiu felt a little tired. He immediately got up and walked outside to get some fresh air. He sensed Qi Yanran, who was in the Green Bird Dao platform. Speaking of which, it was strange. After entering the world of the evil dragon's eye and training, it was very easy, and was even more accepted by the Green Bird Dao platform. This was what Li Zhongjiu felt. Previously, the Green Bird Dao platform allowed Li Zhongjiu to explore because of Qi Yanran's face. But now it allowed him to explore because of his strength. Otherwise, with his arrogant attitude, if he wanted to investigate anything, he would be sent flying in an instant. Looks like it will take at least 2 or 3 months to recover. The more Li Zhongjiu looked at it, the angrier he became. He casually called someone to call Tai-Fi. After all, Li Zhongjiu was not familiar with the others. So calling Tai-Fi was the most direct and effective way. I asked you to find information about the Devouring Yuan clan. How is it going? Li Zhongjiu asked. Tai-Fei hurried over. At the same time, he seemed to have a lot on his mind, and was very anxious. Young lord, we have some clues about the Devouring Yuan clan. Now we know that the Devouring Yuan clan is most likely in the Yellow River area. Li Zhongjiu remembered that a lot of things had happened in Yellow River before. There was a genius in Yellow River. He wondered how he was doing now. Now Li Zhongjiu was almost standing at the peak of the Shengyan dynasty. However, Li Zhongjiu was only one person. There were bound to be local experts in various big places. When there were experts outside, Li Zongjie would directly hide and avoid the world. If there was a great calamity in the world, or if there was a chance to take advantage of it, these people would immediately appear. Moreover, each one of them was more famous than the other. Normally, one might not be able to recall them, but after he jumped out and said this, it seemed like they had a lot of background. Looks like I have to go to Yellow River. Li Zongjie's eyes flashed with killing intent. What happened in Yellow River had nothing to do with him. What he wanted to do was to find out where the devouring Yuan clan was and kill them all. Only in this way could he eliminate the hatred in his heart. He wanted to teach these audacious people a lesson. This was how evil Lord Li Zongjie did things. Reason, benevolence, talk about it in hell. Li Zongjie did not have the time to waste on these things. Why do you look so anxious? Li Zongjie looked at Taifai. Taifai told him the truth. He told him the whole story. Xiao Zhao and Yun Qi went to find Zhong Xianshan. However, Zhong Xianshan did not like them. Later, they were trapped in the formation and sent out a distress signal. When Li Yun heard about this, she quickly rushed to Green Bamboo Mountain. However, Li Yun seemed to be trapped in Green Bamboo Mountain as well. Therefore, Taifai could not wait any longer. He had to settle this matter. If Li Zongjie came out and found out that he could not handle such a small matter, it would be worse if he crippled him. How dare you? I've been feeling a little sullen recently. Let me loosen up my muscles. Li Zongjie's lips curled into a cold smile. Lead the way. Let old man Nangong come along. Li Zongjie said. In the next moment, a huge airship appeared in the sky above the White Deer Mansion. When the airship appeared, Li Yunmu's eyes lit up. Everyone in the city could see it clearly. Several figures flew onto the airship. When the guards in the city saw the airship appear, they were all shocked. However, when they saw that the airship had appeared from the White Deer Mansion, they sighed. They immediately heaved a sigh of relief. Found it. We finally found it. In the Sacred Flame Imperial City, in a romantic place, a strong old man's eyes lit up when he saw the airship appear. The Heavenly Martial airship. He had been searching for it for a long time. Immediately, the old man jumped out of the window and flew out, leaving the ground full of women chattering and swallowing. Hey, you haven't paid yet. The Heavenly Martial airship had just risen into the sky. Taifai and the others were feeling the power of the airship brought back by their young master. They were extremely excited. He was indeed their young master. Before everyone could stabilize their bodies, they suddenly saw a figure land on the deck. Who is it? Nangong Wuji's aura was greatly boosted. In just 2 years, he had reached the peak of the primitive emperor realm. However, the newcomer did not take Nangong Wuji's aura seriously. This caused Nangong Wuji to be greatly alarmed. The old man in front of him seemed to be very strong. Master, I'm back. Master. Qing Shilong was in front of the deck, shouting at Li Zongjie. Chapter 1465. Ever since Qing Shilong was thrown into the sea by Li Zongjie, when Qing Shilong saw Long Ji from the Dragon Penitentiary, he fled in panic. Originally, he wanted to run for his life. Although it was not a big deal to lose his Dragon Ball, he still wanted to escape. However, when Qing Shilong returned to the Dragon Island and inquired about the situation, he found out that Li Zongjie had turned the Dragon Island upside down. After hearing this, how could Qing Shilong not know the seriousness of this matter? Who knew that Li Zongjie had such a powerful strength? It was simply terrifying. It was said that he had even dealt with the evil dragon god. Originally, Qing Shilong obeyed the command of the evil dragon god. However, the evil dragon god was unexpectedly dealt with by Li Zongjie. How could he not know Li Zongjie's strength? Now that the Dragon Ball was in Li Zongjie's hands, he came here with a thick face. What was the use of this face? It was better to use his own Dragon Ball. Previously, he was afraid that Long Ji from the Dragon Penitentiary would punish him. But now, it seemed that Li Zongjie was the real king. Even if he pulled the carriage under Li Zongjie, he would still have a bright future. Master. Nangong Wuji and Nangong Wuji were astonished when they heard the old man's call. The old man in front of them wasn't an ordinary person. The person who could become the old man's master must be a pinnacle existence. On this ship, the only person who met this requirement was Li Zongjio. You're the young master's servant? Taifai said. At this moment, Li Zongjio also came out from the cabin and glanced at Qing Shilong in front of him. Oh, since you're back, you can pull the carriage. Li Zongjio was wondering who had caused such a big commotion. Seeing that it was Qing Shilong who was getting weaker by the day, Li Zongjio knew that this guy was scared. Li Zongjio didn't care about the Bluestone Dragon. You can do whatever you want. Anyway, they can't pose a threat. At least for now, they are quite obedient. Since they can be tamed, Li Zongjio didn't mind raising a few giant dragons. Yes, master. Qing Shilong was pleasantly surprised. The Dragon Ball was still on Li Zongjio's body, although Qing Shilong couldn't retrieve the Dragon Ball now. As long as he stayed next to the Dragon Ball, he would be able to maintain his strength. Otherwise, his strength would gradually decline. If the rate of decline was too fast, it would be difficult to recover in the future. Therefore, after Qing Shilong understood the situation clearly, he came to find Li Zongjio without hesitation. However, on the way here, he went to have some fun and found that the human world was actually so fun. However, Qing Shilong couldn't continue like this. Otherwise, once he exposed his true form in front of the human race, without the Dragon Ball in hand, he would be hunted down by experts. Now that he had boarded Li Zongjio's ship, there was naturally nothing to be afraid of. Qing Shilong shook his body and changed. Then, he put on the noose that he had made on the ship and immediately moved. Immediately he flew forward. A giant dragon came to pull the Tianwu ship. The Tianwu ship was already very imposing. Now they saw the giant dragon appear. Both of them were almost scared out of their wits. My God! This is the legendary giant dragon? Obviously, both of them couldn't believe it. Although Nangong Wuji knew about the existence of Dragon Island, he had never seen the giant dragon tribe with his own eyes. After all, the giant dragon tribe had disappeared for a long time. Recently, there was a disturbance about the dragon tribe. However, Nangong Wuji didn't need to deal with these matters for the time being. Therefore, when they saw the dragon tribe in front of them for the first time, in the eyes of the two of them, it was only then that people were truly shocked. Boom! Qing Shilong directly flew forward with the Tianwu ship. However, Taifai saw that the situation in front of him was not right. The direction is wrong. This direction. The oncoming wind was too strong. Therefore, Taifai didn't know whether the Qing Shilong in front of him could hear him or not. After all, this giant dragon's body was quite huge. Sure enough, the Qing Shilong seemed to be able to understand him. He quickly changed his direction and flew in the direction that Taifai pointed. Boom! Being dragged by a giant dragon. Damn it, who would dare to believe it? Both of them were obviously excited. At this moment, they seemed to have become the pinnacle figures who could ride the clouds and step on the sky. Qing Shilong also put in a lot of effort. Originally, it would take at least 10 hours. In just 4 hours, the Green Bamboo Mountain could be seen with the naked eye. It was not far ahead. On the Green Bamboo Mountain, countless emerald green bamboos were swaying in the wind. At this moment, looking from afar, this bamboo forest was swaying with the wind. It was extremely beautiful. However, in the sea of bamboos, there were 3 figures trapped in it. Li Yun used what she had learned in her life to find Xiao Zhao and Qing Shilong in time. However, in the blink of an eye, she was trapped in the sea of bamboos. Li Yun couldn't do anything about the opponent's formation. If she calmed down, there was a chance to break it. However, the opponent obviously didn't give Li Yun this opportunity. They continued to attack in the bamboo forest. Li Yun didn't have enough time to explore the surrounding situation. Instead, she was restricted everywhere. It's difficult. I can't calm down to break the formation. The opponent's sea of bamboos formation is at least a 9th level formation. Now my formation cultivation is only at the 8th level. Li Yun's formation cultivation had already broken through to the 8th level. If she was compared to people of the same age, she would be considered an extremely heaven-defying existence. Who could achieve this level of strength at such a young age? Li Yun immediately tried her best to break the formation. The opponent could be said to have used all his means. If not for Li Yun's timely arrival, the two of them would have been killed by the person in front of them. Seeing this, Xiao Zhao once again shouted to the empty space in the sea of bamboos. If Senior Zhong doesn't want to be disturbed, we will leave. If we touch the people of White Deer Mansion, do you think you can withstand the power of Evil Lord? Xiao Zhao's voice was like an arrow filled with penetrating power, shooting forward. However, after Xiao Zhao warned the other party, a figure suddenly appeared in the sky above the sea of bamboos. This figure was formed by the condensation of the bamboo leaves. Zhong Xianshan. This person was the legendary Zhong Xianshan, the alchemy grandmaster from 300 years ago. The appearance of the figure formed by the bamboo leaves could not be seen clearly. After Zhong Xianshan appeared, he laughed disdainfully. Little girl, don't try to scare me with Evil Lord. I, Zhong Xianshan, became famous 300 years ago and went into seclusion. I don't know much about the outside world, but this old man is confident that on this jade bamboo mountain, even if that Evil Lord comes, it will be the same. He won't be able to return. Zhong Xianshan appeared to be rather confident. When he said those words, it was natural that his tone was firm and powerful. Everyone who heard it was rather surprised. This guy sure was confident. He must have not seen the strength of the Evil Lord before, which was why he dared to speak so boldly. Evil Lord must be on his way here. Zhong Xianshan, let us go now and you can still live. Yanqi said. When Li Yun arrived, she had already told them about Li Zhongjio's return. As long as they held on, Li Zhongjio would definitely come to their rescue. Li Zhongjio's shielding of his own was really quite thorough. As long as it was Li Zhongjio's people, even if they were in the wrong, he would protect them till the end. As for the consequences, there was no such thing as consequences in the evil dominator's eyes. If he still wanted revenge, he could just continue killing. Once he killed them all, there would be no consequences. Haha, if he dares to come, I'll make sure he can't leave. Zhong Xianshan was full of confidence. He had spent 300 years perfecting the great formation he had set up at the foot of Emerald Bamboo Mountain. Link by link, it was now a rather perfect defensive system. It was impossible for anyone to break through it. Even if an expert of the same level as him came, it would take at least half a year to break through. However, as long as Zhong Xianshan was here, he would be able to fix the holes in the formation. Even if one found the weakness, one might not have the chance to break through it. Before he made a move, he would have already fixed the hole. One would not have the chance to break through the formation. Both of them looked at Li Yun. At this moment, Li Yun's expression was quite serious. This was because after her in-depth research, she realized that this great formation had already merged with this jade bamboo mountain. The might of such a powerful array formation. This was Li Yun's first time seeing it. All of a sudden, the entire sea of bamboos shook violently. Li Yun felt that her body was empty. All the pressure from before had disappeared in an instant. It seemed to be rushing towards something else. When she looked up again, she saw a huge green shadow descending from the sky. Boom! When the giant shadow landed, Yi Zichen's eyes lit up. The entire green bamboo mountain also erupted. Countless bamboos exploded on the spot. Boom! The huge dragon claw slammed into the jade bamboo mountain, leaving a deep and huge claw mark. Zhong Xuanshan's figure formed by the bamboo leaves was instantly annihilated. It had disappeared. What? Li Yun felt that the pressure on her body had disappeared. It seemed to be because the great formation had been broken. What happened? Xiao Zhao asked. The formation seems to have been broken. Li Yun murmured. Chapter 1466. Above Jade Bamboo Mountain, in front of the Sky Marshal vessel, with the dragon pearl in its mouth, the green stone dragon's strength skyrocketed. Li Zhongjio was already tired of playing with the dragon pearl. Since he had no use for it, he gave it back to the green stone dragon. Li Zhongjio had quite a number of dragon pearls in his hands. Naturally, they were different. A mere dragon pearl was nothing in his eyes. After playing with it for a while, Li Zhongjio realized that the green stone dragon's dragon pearl was too weak. I don't like this mountain. Smash it to smithereens for me. Li Zongjiu said calmly. The green stone dragon's eyes lit up. This kind of unscrupulous act of sabotage, with a powerful backer behind him, was simply too satisfying. At this moment, Zhongxian Mountain on Jade Bamboo Mountain, sensing the arrival of a giant dragon, and the fact that it had damaged his formation with a single claw, he was naturally shocked. In front of a bamboo house, a figure in a green robe was standing. He quickly operated the formation plate in front of him, manipulating the illusory formation above Jade Bamboo Mountain. After nearly 300 years of perfecting it, it wasn't just for leeching. Moreover, he had previously said that no one would be able to break his formation. If his array formation was broken just as he finished speaking, wouldn't he lose a lot of face? Where did this ignorant junior come from? How dare you ruin my show? Zhongxian Mountain was extremely angry. Then, under the operation of the array in front of him, the bamboo leaves on the huge green bamboo mountain fluttered. Each leaf also formed an extremely sharp aura, and in front of the green dragon, they also transformed into a giant dragon made of bamboo leaves. Its sharp claws flew. With a casual swipe of its claws, it could easily cut everything in front of it into pieces. Zhongxian Mountain didn't know where the green stone dragon in front of him came from. It couldn't be a real giant dragon. However, with his strength, Zhongxian Mountain was confident that he could deal with a real giant dragon. There was no need to worry at all. The appearance of the bamboo leaf dragon made Qing Shilong's eyes widen. Where did this fella in front of him come from? How dare he bring out such a thing to embarrass himself? Immediately, he spat out a stream of dragon breath. Boom! The terrifying flames instantly burned the bamboo leaf dragon in front of him to nothing. In just one round, the strength of the azure stone dragon was not something that a fake imitation could compare to. Li Yun and the other two saw this shocking scene from below. The huge bamboo leaf dragon, formed by the formation of the green bamboo mountain, was actually killed by this huge green dragon in an instant. That's a real dragon. Li Yun's eyes flashed, and she cried out in surprise. She couldn't believe her eyes. The bluestone dragon before his eyes was actually a member of the legendary colossal dragon clan. Giant dragon, where did this thing come from? It was simply inconceivable to the three of them. Is that a flying boat? Xiao Zhao's eyes looked through the direction of the bluestone dragon and saw the Tianwu boat hovering in the sky behind the bluestone dragon. The Tianwu boat was still tall. It formed a small black dot in the sky. If one didn't look carefully, they wouldn't be able to see it clearly. After all, everyone's attention was attracted by the bluestone dragon. It really is. When Li Yun saw the Tianwu boat, she knew that it was not simple. She used to be the pilot of the flying boat. Even now, she still retained this skill. But now, she didn't need to do it personally. Just this Eagle battleship alone had been updated to the 3rd generation. Moreover, it had spent a lot of money to train this new generation of pilots. Now, it could be said that the operation was getting easier and faster. Having piloted a battleship before, Li Yun knew that the Tianwu boat in front of her was not simple when she saw it. Just this aura alone was displayed here. It was dazzling. Its young master. Xiao Zhao was pleasantly surprised. Who else would appear at Green Bamboo Mountain at this time? Moreover, in the entire Xingyan dynasty, how many people could defeat Zhong Xianshan? How many people could find a giant dragon to help them? She believed that only one person could do it. That person was her young master, Evil Lord Li Zongjiu. This person was full of legends from head to toe. The bluestone dragon easily tore the giant dragon formed by the bamboo leaves into pieces. Where did this fake come from? In front of the bluestone dragon's sharp claws, it naturally couldn't resist at all. After tearing it apart, the bluestone dragon stopped. After all, the order it received was to destroy the entire green bamboo mountain. Immediately, the bluestone dragon roared. It crashed into the green bamboo mountain. Boom! In an instant, a scene that could be said to be earth-shattering appeared. Li Yun and the other two were lifted up by a force in an instant. Their bodies involuntarily rose into the air, and then landed on the Tianwu boat, which was close to 1,000 meters in the sky. Young master. When Xiao Zhao saw Li Zongjiu, he shouted in surprise. Yes. Li Zongjiu nodded. Yunqi also bowed respectfully to Li Zongjiu. Then, everyone obediently stood behind Li Zongjio. At this time, the Bluestone Dragon had also completely destroyed the Green Bamboo Mountain. The bamboo forest, which stretched for tens of thousands of miles, was completely destroyed at this moment. Zhong Xianshan, who was on the Green Bamboo Mountain, was almost driven crazy by the scene in front of him. Oh my God! Oh my God! The formation that I painstakingly set up for 300 years was destroyed by you. Zhong Xianshan roared to the sky. He was furious and unwilling to accept this result. However, the Bluestone Dragon in the sky didn't listen to his roar and continued to attack. Boom! The Bluestone Dragon destroyed the Green Bamboo Mountain over and over again at an extremely fast speed. With a sweep of its tail, everything in its path was instantly destroyed. However, the Bluestone Dragon didn't attack Zhong Xianshan. As a giant dragon that had cultivated for hundreds of years, he knew very well that Li Zongjio wouldn't let the person in front of him go so easily. He would definitely torture the person in front of him. Therefore, the Bluestone Dragon's main focus was to destroy the Green Bamboo Mountain. Enough! Stop it right now! Zhong Xianshan suddenly threw out a set of flying swords. At the same time, he threw out a huge cauldron. Boom! The huge cauldron and the flying swords rushed towards the Bluestone Dragon. When Li Zongjio saw the huge cauldron, a trace of surprise flashed across his eyes. The revered green origin cauldron? When Li Zongjio saw the giant green cauldron, he reached out his hand without hesitation and grabbed the supreme green cauldron out of thin air. It really is. When Li Zongjio saw the revered green origin cauldron, he carefully inspected it and confirmed that it was indeed his cauldron. In his previous life, Li Zongjio had also obtained this cauldron. However, because the revered green origin cauldron wasn't very convenient to use, it was a very powerful existence. Li Zongjio also knew about this in his previous life. He himself couldn't exert the power of the revered green origin cauldron. Therefore, Li Zongjio directly hid the revered green origin cauldron. After all, in his previous life, Li Zongjio had obtained countless treasures. It was normal for him to miss out on some. Give me back my revered green origin cauldron. The cauldron in his hand had actually been snatched away by someone. Clearly the latter was quite anxious. He immediately roared loudly and asked Li Zongjio to return the cauldron to him. However, the green stone dragon in front of him was also quite ferocious. It easily destroyed the flying swords formation. Bring that old man to me, Li Zongjio said. The green stone dragon had also completely destroyed the Green Bamboo Mountain. It had been completely reduced to ruins. You worked hard to build it for 300 years, but in the hands of the green stone dragon, it was completely destroyed in just 3 minutes. Hearing Li Zongjio's command, the Bluestone Dragon immediately flapped its wings and grabbed at Zhong Xianshan. Zhong Xianshan also let out a low roar, his eyes filled with madness. You want to catch me? You think you can? Zhong Xianshan was also a peak supreme. Although he hadn't reached the honorable realm, he was a peak 9th grade sovereign. He wasn't someone to be trifled with. As an alchemist, it wasn't difficult for him to use elixirs to increase his cultivation. Seeing the Bluestone Dragon coming at him, Zhong Xianshan also moved. Zhong Xianshan also moved his body. His elemental energy instantly turned into raging flames and blasted towards Qing Shilong. However, this kind of flame was equivalent to a pile of small flames in front of the Bluestone Dragon. Although the Bluestone Dragon's strength was average, it was still in existence of the absolute saint realm. With a wave of its claws, it smashed the small flames in front of it. Then the Bluestone Dragon leaped and swayed. It instantly appeared in front of Zhong Xianshan. With a curl of its tail, it easily curled Zhong Xianshan up. At the same time, a terrifying amount of yuan energy was injected into Zhong Xianshan's body, sealing the latter's yuan energy. If the Bluestone Dragon wanted to, it could use its tail to strangle Zhong Xianshan to death. Zhong Xianshan was then tossed onto the deck of the Tianwu ship, like a piece of wood by the Bluestone Dragon. The Bluestone Dragon was still circling around the Tianwu ship. Everyone was deeply shocked by the massive aura of the dragon. Was this the legendary giant dragon? Where did the young master get it from? What a huge one! Zhong Xianshan fell to the ground with a loud thud. His bones were almost falling apart. Li Zhongjie looked at Zhong Xianshan, who was sitting on the ground, and couldn't help but sneer. And here I thought you were tough. Seems like you don't have long to live, and need these bamboos to prolong your life. That's why you don't dare to leave this mountain. With just a glance, Li Zhongjie could see through Zhong Xianshan. Upon hearing Li Zhongjie's words, Zhong Xianshan shuddered. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support. And don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.